Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Bronze Reaper podcast. I'm your host, Rochelle Perkins, and we got a great show today. It's more of I want to say, a research show, research slash conversation. The reason why I want to call it a research slash conversation is because this is something that everybody can talk about, and from blacks to whites, from conservatives to liberals. And where does this stuff start from? I mean, where does this stuff lead to? One thing I do want to say, this is reason why I always would say there would never be a black and white unit ever. It's nothing. It's nothing that, like, oh well, all of them are like that. No, it's not that. It's just, who can you trust? You know, things like this you can never trust. And I'm talking about even the liberal thing, where we see liberals always talk about, oh, this unity, these things that we hear all the time, but nah, there's no such thing of it. There's no such kind of unity between blacks and whites. Is there a disdain, envy, jealousy? Probably, could be. I do. Hold on. Okay, okay. But yeah, as I have been telling people, there will never be no black and white unit. There won't be no black and white unity in America. Um, will will that stop some people from helping? No, it won't stop some people from helping, but this will, hold on a second. No. Will this stop some people? Yes, it would stop some people because, you know, at the end of the day, I personally will always say I don't trust anybody except Black Americans. Um, if I was gonna get portrayed, I'd rather get portrayed by my own people, but not by people who are not like me. So yeah. Hold on. So yada yada yada. I do want to see that. Hold on one second, everybody. There's certain things I just want to see, and I'm still getting the show ready, so don't mind me, everyone. Um, but yeah, this show is gonna be, it's always has been about loyalty. Um, but as I always say, I don't think that, personally, I don't think that there will be, any type of correlation between anybody. And this is why I always tell people all the time, Black Americans, and this will be kind of a quick show, Black Americans different depend on yourselves and your people. What's going on, Robin? Salute, salute. Um, I will say this: we will have certain allies, not collectively, but individually. We will have some allies. I will say that. So don't ever think Black Americans is only Black Americans. Will we have allies? Yes. I have the opposite opinion. I feel everyone will be unified very soon. No, I'm gonna say this: with this case, it's going back to court. It's going back to court, and the reason why it's going back to court, because there's so much misinformation. There's so many discovers now where, like, I didn't know that was it. I think the judge, was it the judge and Austin Metcalf's father are friends. Sometimes you could say this. This is why probably he was so calm about it, saying this isn't a black and white thing, because they probably already had this set up. We don't know, so we will talk about it. We will watch some videos and see how some people reacted on it. Um, the black community, me personally, I'm not surprised. Did I think? Because the thing about it, this is the only thing I'm surprised at. I'm surprised that they got it. They got a murder charge on him. If it was manslaughter, yes, I can see they. But you can't. And this is where I say, this is going to be a retrial like this. The reason why it's going to be a retrial because you can't say that it was malicious. That's the only time it's a murder case. A murder charge can be stamped like if it's malicious, like he meant to do that. But you know he didn't really mean to do that. Even when he stabbed him, he was like, "Yo, is he all right?" You know. And we got and it's so crazy because you can see the nastiness. And I'm gonna say this: if you go on, and I always tell people all the time, you can't take Twitter serious. Um, you could get good information, you could get a good entertainment, but out of X, it out of X, you shouldn't take serious because we got Kyle Rittenhouse talking trash, and this is the guy who was crying like a bitch in court. You know, and is a meme, meme of the fucking millennia, so we can't really take him serious, you know. Um, and this is where I say, you know what, a lot of these people can't hold account. I mean, can't, this is where accountability is, should be. Hold on one second. This is where accountability should be like, okay, yo, you know what? You know, maybe he didn't mean to kill him, but at the end of the day, these are the laws. You can't put a law in and after that try to question what's going on. I'm shocked they didn't use a diminished capital capacity defense like they do in so many of these FBA cases these days. The guy had a white lawyer, and I heard the lawyer knew Metcalf. This is. I'll say this. I'm not doing FBA convo. I'm not doing call-ins for like for like 3 more weeks. I'm still talking it with my team right now, who's helping me with this show. So I'll just read everything that y'all have on this in the live chat right now. But yeah, I'll say this, St. Michael's. Only thing you said I'm shocked they didn't use a diminished capacity defense like they do in so many of these FBA cases these days. Um, St. Michael's, you don't even have a TV, my nigga. How do you know what happens in black cases? I don't know if you got some type of fetish for black people. That's what it comes off you that's how it comes off, man. It comes off like you have a fetish for black Americans or some shit like that. Like, let me ask you a question. Use a potato slave, my nigga. Like, why you so obsessed with black people? I do shows about everything, you know, and this is about a murder case. I understand if they would have put it this way, it would have been easier. And this is what makes it so crazy. It would have been easier to get him with manslaughter instead of murder. That's why I said this. I said, well, for example, manslaughter, you can accidentally kill somebody or didn't really mean to do it and you just defend yourself and get hit with a manslaughter. But murder is hard to say that somebody did it intentionally. You know, that's all I'm saying. It's hard to choose. It's hard to say that he did it intentionally. Not even having like the case wasn't even. I don't even think the case was like 2 months. It should have been open and shut case. Nah, bro, it was a murder on camera. You can't defend. But the thing about it, Robin, nobody has seen the tape. That's the thing. Where is this tape at? And it's not a murder case. It would have been. I'm telling you, it would have been easier if it was manslaughter. But they made it a murder case, and you're like, okay, how they're trying to get him off, or there's something weird about it. You can't call it accidental when you put a 3 inch nine. What I mean as intentional, when I say intentional, I mean that he did it to be malice. He didn't do it in a malice way. He did it in a way of trying to get it away. That's what I mean. Trying to get away. Intentional, like, yeah, I came down here to kill this motherfucker. That's what I mean by intentional. He didn't come down there to do it intentionally. So St. Michael's, you're colliding two things. You're colliding two things together that doesn't make sense. We don't know if he did it intentionally. We know he did it to get away. You're very predictable in that manner. Well, the laws is the laws. I go by the law. I don't go by black and white. The laws say that's what murder is. I came to kill you. He didn't come to kill him. At the end of the day, he tried to come. He did it to get away. He ran to a cop. If we put it this way, if I stab somebody, you think I'm gonna run to the cops and say like, "Yo, I stabbed that guy over there. Is he all right?" No, I'll run and try to hide and hope that nobody sees me. So that's what it means. No, oh my God, St. Michael's very predictable. You're talking about first degree. No, I'm talking about manslaughter. That's what manslaughter is. You know, you have to be. There are 2 degrees of murder. First degree. Yeah, but again, no matter how you do it, you have to intend to do it. You when you stab somebody, the way how they're trying to make it, they're making it seem like that he tried to kill him. You know, it would have been like I said, it would have been easy to get him on manslaughter. That's why people were saying that this case is not going to stick because it's a murder case. If he attempted to do it, if put it this way, if he would have went to that the track meet to kill him, yes, I will agree with you 100%. Yeah, he needs to be in jail, but he didn't go there for that, and that's what makes it crazy. You know, that wasn't his plan to do it. Sorry, Bronze, I can't co-sign it. Oh no, no, you could again, Dorsey. You could think different. That's all right with me. But I'd look at it as it would have been easy for manslaughter. It's accidental. You Joe that. Yeah, he did it for to get away. Yes, you know. And what I mean by accidental, he didn't mean to kill him. He just did it to get away. You know. Nah, that man 160 pounds soaking wet, and he's fighting two booger bear. He's fighting two white corn fed white boys. I'm gonna be personally honest. If I was his size, I probably would have done the same thing. I probably would have stabbed the kid. That's one of those things. You're not gonna win, and he was by himself. I think personally, he had the right to stab him. Out of defense. In honesty, you're literally embodying the trope about your people's rights. No, I'm talking about all rights. If we're gonna go down the middle, it's self defense. If two corn fed kids don't, and I heard stories about this kid even doing steroids. You know, if if two corn-fed white boys try to jump on you, no matter if he shoulder bumped you and stuff like that, yo, you got to get busy and you got to get out of there. So, and I'm gonna say this: Do you think? Put it this way: Do you think? Would you think it was okay if he would have just got jumped and never did anything and try to fight back? and something could have actually really happened to him, or him stab him and run to the police. Don't get, and I'm gonna say this, St. Michael's, don't get emotional about this. They damage control. They they do damage control for. They do damage control. Fire pro pedophile that specifically targets little boys in wheelchairs, as long as the. Put it this way: do you know Austin Metcalf? He have some allegation about PDF, or actually sexual assault. Do you know that he has allegations? I'm just saying. Well, St. Michael's, you're a white man, so you're gonna defend your race. I'm defending the laws. You know. Let me see what Dorsey said. That white boy who killed the Mexican in the bathroom with the knife in Texas. Oh shit! But it is murder. I wouldn't say murder. I'll say manslaughter. I would have hit him with manslaughter, and I would have gave him 5 to 10. If anything, if we was gonna let it stick, if he was gonna do time, I would give him 5 to 10. But it's like I said, we're finding out so much stuff about this. You know, are you now implying that? Oh no, Austin Metcalf had some allegations on him. They have said that, like, yo, he was beating up his father. That's one. Another thing, they said that he was a known racist in the community. So that's two. So reverse the color. Would that be manslaughter? I'll put it this way: if we reverse the race, it would be hard to say that it was murder. Probably, if there was two corn-fed black men, it would be considered manslaughter. If not, self-defense. You know, that's all I can tell you, Robin. Like I said, it's not about color; it's about laws. What does the law say? You know, that's all I'm saying. It's about laws. So at the end of the day, if you do, hold on one second. If you say if you say this if you say this is murder, what about Daniel Penny? Daniel Penny killed somebody, a person who was yelling at himself on the train. He choked him out and killed him. They made him an American hero. As I always said about Carmelo Anthony, it's gonna be a retrial. There's gonna be a retrial. No ends or buts about it. And this thing is just the thing about it is because the judge and Austin Metcalf's father knows each other. You know. Plus, there wasn't no black juror. There wasn't a mixed juror. So that's another thing. Um, the cope is beyond. But yeah, it's. But like, especially put it this way. Uh, this stand your ground laws, Dorsey. Let's say he shot him. Because don't forget, Austin Metcalf was the aggressor, right? Can we all agree that he was the aggressor, right? Can we agree that he was the aggressor? If he's the aggressor, and I would have shot if and us, I mean, Carmelo Anthony would have shot him, would it make a difference? It wouldn't make a difference. I personally, like I said, it's stand your ground law. We got to protect the laws. We can't give people sympathy benefits because the guy came from a motherless household. We can't be out here giving benefits. We got to protect the law, and that's me. I'm protecting the law. I don't think you say I don't want to fight you numerous times when he's the aggressor. He told him to get out of here. He said, "I'm gonna make you get out of here." That's being the aggressor. That's a threat. So that's what happened. I think what happened is he fucked around and found out. He found out that people ain't playing with him out here. You know, if he stabbed him in the side with a small knife, it's only, but this doesn't know penetration wounds. Yes, I do agree with that, Dorsey. Yeah, Metcalf was the aggressor. That's what happened. Yeah, hey, he fucked around and found out, man, got stabbed. That's how I looked at it. Yeah, make me get up because he said, I'm gonna make you. He's like, yo, get out of here. He said, no, I'm not leaving. Then he's like, I'm gonna make you get up. He said, well, make me get up. Fucked around and found out. This is why I always tell people, mind your fucking business. Nah, you're wrong. This is the reason they picked they picked all Asians for the jury. No, they didn't have one black person on there. So and that's what makes it crazy, Robin. It was all white people, you know. And don't forget, Asian people don't fuck with black people like that. A lot of Asian people don't fuck with black people, especially the Chinese. They don't fuck with black people like that. I know justice was not served, but street laws don't work in Texas. Remember, the knife has a reputation in the West. Yeah, but he fucked around and found out. Dorsey, I think. Give me a second. I think it's gonna be a retrial, man. But the thing I will say, Dorsey, you were right. You said, "Yo, he's going to jail." You did say that yesterday, Dorsey. You said he was going to jail, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't know." I was like, "Yeah, I think Dorsey might have a point, man." This because I started hearing people were like, "Yo, why is there an all white juror? This dude he don't have a great defense team." Like I'm gonna say this, I have to blame his parents for having that type of defense team. You know, I think as a black man in America, you always have to do your research on the judge that you do. I learned the hard way when I got in a car accident. I had this white woman who's defending me for my car crash. I was supposed to get like 20, 30, maybe even $40,000. I got less than $5,000 because of her. I didn't do my research. The bull is lethal, but most fights in Texas are to the yeah. He was a small kid. He was 160 pounds, if that. Those are two corn-fed, 200-pound brothers. They already got. They don't forget. There's already racial. They already got a racial resume about them. They already got racial tensions about them. This is what happened. This is either outright dishonest or. But St. Michael's, this is where you got to understand. This is just my opinion. You can have an opinion. I don't say, "Oh yeah, your opinion is stupid." I said, "No, that's not how I feel." St. Michael's, like St. Michael's, this white shit that this white what's the word um this white entitlement that you do have, it gotta stop. Cause somebody don't agree with you, you can't be like, "Oh, you got a low IQ because I don't agree with you." So the fuck what? It's my opinion. This is just how I feel. Like it. Like let me ask you: if you're gonna act like a little bitch, you don't have to be on this show. You know, you don't have to be on this show. You could go to some alt white racist show. If you want a black person to agree with you, go to Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels will agree with you. You know, you don't have to be here, man. You can unsubscribe for me. You pick up cans anyways, so you do meth. So like, come on, why we can't have a civil conversation where I can disagree. Like Dorsey disagrees with me. You don't see Dorsey going up in no hip hop parade. Like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about, a Rocheland? You got a low IQ. No, it's just my opinion. Like, come on, St. Michael's. You got to do better, man. And this is why I always tell you all the time. I don't trust a lot of white people. This is why, because they get mad when you disagree with you. And I'm gonna say this. This is what I learned out of my 41 years of living. Whenever I ever dealt with a white supremacist that I disagree with, that I befriend, he will start insulting me and be mad because this is because how I look at certain things. It should never be like that. It should always be a conservative. This is why I always tell these white Republicans, you got to stop calling yourself conservative. A lot of y'all are not conservative. I disagree with Robin, but at the end of the day, I can still have a conversation with Robin. Robin can still press me on what happened if the color, what happened if the color was, what happened if was opposite. The color was opposite. I can still have a conversation with him. St. Michael's, you got to stop doing that, man. Like, I get it. You know, you you want to be considered, so you want to have this white pride, and that's cool. You can have white pride, but you can't get mad at me on what I think. And when I say the law is the law, if it works from one way, it should work for the same way. This should be a gray line. You can't get mad about that. We can agree to disagree. Potato head. Yeah, thank you, Dorsey. That's the whole reason of this show. This is why I give the platform. Yeah, we could joke, we could troll, we could do all of that, but at the end of the day, it should never be that fucking Myron Gaines shit. I hate that Myron Gaines shit. That's why I barely watch it. The only time I watch it is to get content. That's it. You think I take that shit serious about what Myron Gaines say? No, absolutely not. This is why I always tell people all the time, I give you a platform. I let you say what you want to say. And at the end of the day, I'm proud that I let y'all say what y'all want to say. Just respect the laws of the land. I always tell you that. But at the end of the day, we really, really got to stop the white entitlement, especially not on my show. This ain't the white entitlement podcast. No, absolutely not. This is the Bronze Reaper podcast. So again, St. Michael's. If you want to go on another channel, if you want to unsubscribe, you can do that. By all means, I wouldn't even be mad at you. It's just you got to stop the entitlement. I don't owe you shit, and I'm gonna tell you I don't owe you shit. You know, I said, yo, he fucked around and found out. He fucked around and found out. Some people call it justice. Some people call it injustice. One thing about me, I respect your opinion. I have to, because that's your opinion. Like, St. Michael's, you haven't heard one time I ever said, like, yo, that is the most, well, yeah, I just said, well, that's the most stupidest shit I ever heard. But it's me trolling. It's not me being like fucking St. Michael's. You got to get your shit together, man. You got to get your shit together. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. We can't keep on doing this with you. This is just how I look at it. But let's get back into what I say. Deal with reality, potato head. I do disagree with Bronze on this matter, but shit, nobody's cried when I went to jail. Yeah, I don't think nobody cried. We laughed because you fucked that shit up. You fucked up McDonald's up. But yeah, it's like, let me ask you a question, Dorsey. Do you think it was injustice how he went to jail for 35 years? Um, I do have a theory. I'm gonna say this. He went to jail when he was like 16, 17. I don't think he should be doing 35 years. I think he should have went to juvenile hall and maxed out. That's it. He's going from juvenile. Oh shit. Oh oh you oh shit. Do you oh shit. But let me ask you a question, Dorsey. Do you think you think he deserved 35 years? And he could get out with good behavior in 15, 17 years. So he'll get out when he's like 36, 37. You know, if that, you know. Yeah, I just want to see what y'all think, and I'll keep on reading off. You too, Robin, I want to know what you think too. Do you think he deserved 35 years? You know, because then after that, we will have to bring up other cases, you know? And this is just how I feel. I think he fucked around, found out. I personally, I'm protecting the laws. That's me because I'm gonna say this, Robin. I don't know if you'll get in that type of situation. Let's say, Robin, you're like 200 pounds. You fucked around with a black guy who's like 240, 250 pounds. You know, do you you're gonna fight him, or B, you're gonna defend yourself? This is how I'm looking at it. This is what I'm saying. I'm defending the law. I'm not defending color. Because at the end of the day, y'all understand that I always tell people I don't like to defend people because they always prove me wrong. So I'm trying to, look out. Instead, I look out of race and look into the laws. Miscarriage of justice. He should do juvenile out when 21. I was thinking the same way, Dorsey. I think he should just get out when he's 21, if anything. You know? Give me a second, everyone. You know what, everybody? Every time I this is funny. Every time I do this show, somebody always texts me. It's fun. It's a funny thing. You know, but yeah, I think he should just max out a juvenile hall. I think that I think that's too much. He's out when he's like what, in his fucking 30s, almost 40s. You know, and that's why I'm saying I think it's gonna be a retrial. I think the retrial is gonna happen. And let's put it this way: if anything, I think he should be charged for manslaughter. I don't think he should be charged for murder. That's just me. I think he should be charged for manslaughter. You know, I think murder's too much. You know, I know some people will think different. I know some, and that's the reason why I wanted this show, because I want to hear other people's opinions. I wish I was doing like letting people call in, but I'm like, nah. I gotta stand on my guns until we fix this situation. And like I said, y'all gotta blame Shabaka for this. Y'all gotta blame Shabaka for this, because that's what they said to me. I was like, yo. And as you know how I am, I try to defend people, especially people who are on the show. But I can't defend Shabaka, man. Shabaka fucked it up, man. But yeah, let's get back into it. I think, like I said, I think they try to throw the book at him. That murder, I don't think murder should have stuck. I think maybe manslaughter, if anything. you know. And I think the most he should have got, if we're gonna make it stick, if the most he should have got was 10 years, you know. Don't forget, we got that white woman who ran up in that house, in the wrong person's house, and shot the guy. Then the bitch talk about she thought that was her house. Ashley, what's her name? Amy Geiger. You know, self-control, culture. Black Snow Bunny King. We're not doing the FBA thing. We're talking about laws today. If you start doing the FBA shit, the trolling, I got to get you out of here for the day. You know, I don't want to. I want you to be on. I want you to be on this show where no, we can talk about this, even if you feel different and stuff like that. But we're talking about the laws. You know, I don't want to do that the FBA shit. I'll do the FBA shit tomorrow for you. You know, where you can just troll out. But this one, I want to see how other people think. I'm wondering. You know, I'm asking you that. I'm asking you for that. If you can't do that, I'll just sit you down. You know, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Dorsey. Charleston White did the same thing. What's going on, Fresh Always? Salute, player. But yeah, yeah, I think yeah, because like I said, I kind of liked. I'm gonna say this about Shabaka since you talked about Shabaka. I kind of liked it. I did kind of sort of like the show, but I didn't like the. Like I said, when I'm asking questions to Shabaka, he just doesn't answer questions. You know, he starts talking about other stuff. He try to control the show, and it's not his show. So that's where they had it. And the thing, what they did to me was considered tough love, man. And I didn't like it. I'm gonna be personally honest. I didn't like it. I want people to talk the way how they want to talk. But as they said, this is still a business. You know, this is still something that we need to talk about. You know, so please, Snow Bunny King, please do me that favor. Don't start talking about FBA culture and all this other stuff. And I just need you to honest, just be as I said. I think different. I think if he was going to get charged, I think he should have got charged with manslaughter. But I want to know what y'all think. You know, this isn't about me. This isn't about FBAs. But as I said, if we're going to talk about FBA or anything, I want to know why weren't the Democrats there? You know, like why aren't the Democrats talking about this? You know, and this is where if you're going to talk about like foundational Black Americans, Black Snow Bunny King, you know, you could have been like, oh, why weren't a lot of Black people there? You know, I understand if you would have said that, and I was like, I don't know. We would have to ask somebody from Florida. I mean, from Texas. I apologize, Florida, Texas. All these decades running to these predominantly white communities, sundown towns like Coleman County. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna put what's going on. Perfect Blackness. Salute. I'm gonna read your. I'm gonna read your lie. I mean your comment. White community sundown has been nothing but a ritual sacrifice of our children. Mellow is but the latest sacrifice. You know what? Perfect Blackness. I might have to agree with you. Um, I'll say this. Um, when I was buying houses and when I was buying apartments and stuff and renting them out and stuff, I had a chance to move it into the white communities, but I never felt comfortable around these type of people because of my experience with them. Oh, Bronze is now doing the truth, talking the truth. Yeah, but Texas is a majority Republican. Wait, did it Republican lovers give that? No, Republicans hasn't given Black Americans anything. You know, I would say that Black Snow Bunny King. Like, let me ask you a question: where has the Republicans have given Black Americans if all they did was beg us for help? That's the only thing Republicans ever did was beg us for help and say, like, we're all American. We need to defend this country. That's the only thing that Republicans has done. They never got us out of slavery. We got them to win a war. Like Republicans hasn't helped us do anything. I have said this dozens of times, Black Snowbunny King. This is what we call selective hearing. My daughter has the same thing. When I tell her something, she act like she didn't hear when I told her that. And shout out to my daughter. Happy belated birthday, princess. It was my daughter's birthday yesterday. That's why I didn't have a show. So shout out to my daughter. But yeah, it's called selective hearing. You know, I do. I'll say this. I'll say this, Black Snow Bunny King, Texas. You are right. It is a majority Republican state. Yes, you are right. But they never really helped. They helped us with nothing. I can't name one thing a Republican helped us with. I know the Democrats got us in a hole, but you are right. I don't. It is a majority Republican state, and I'm gonna say I'm 100% behind perfect blackness. Salute to you. And Dorsey, let me see some. The truth in what I don't know. Focus group style show. Yeah, but yeah Dorsey, because like I said, man, I fuck with Shabaka. I like Shabaka when he's on the show, but at the end of the day, man, the shit that we seen Friday, man, they didn't like it. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, and you know me, like Black Snow Bunny King. If they talked about you, I would defend you, Shabaka. I would defend. I mean, Black Snow Bunny King, I would defend you because at the end of the day, you're on the show, trolling, But when we have these serious shows, we can't do that. Um, but let me see what Dorsey said. Because it is a black white issue. Don't want to lose white support. They lost the FBA support already. We were burnt out. We burned out. We burned we burnt out of our house in the white community because my mom didn't want to admit it. Yeah, I agree with that, Dorsey. They a lot of these people don't want to admit it, but it's facts. That's why I like to like when I get money, I'm gonna go into the all black community. There are all black communities. I personally don't like to live in all white communities. I don't want my kids living in all white communities. So that's just me. There's nothing against white people. I just like to be around my own kind. If not, I'm not gonna feel comfortable. That's just me. Dr. King burning houses has been a reality since his death. We've just been too foolish to admit to ourselves to nurse Dr. King's legacy. FBA suffering and tears is orgasmic nurture for them. Yeah. I'll say this. I'm gonna add more to what you just said. I want to say this. I think like even with St. Michael's, I think they fetishize off of like black trauma. They like to see black people in chains and shit like that. I don't know what it is. It's a weird white people thing, a white supremacist thing, and it's not even the cool white people. It's the nerdy white trailer trash, methed out white people, who's on Section 8 or on food stamps. It's those people, and it's a lot of them. Even the rich are kind of like that. I can't even say the rich because the rich, they don't look at color, they look at green, you know? Are some races? Yes. But there's not a lot of rich people out here. There's not a lot of like white rich people out here. We can't stop. I'm gonna say this: we gotta stop fantasizing, thinking that there's a lot of white rich people out here, or a lot of conservative, or middle class white people out here. There isn't any. A lot of them are poor. There's more poor white people than black poor white people. I mean, black poor people. So that's what we got to stop doing. So yeah, it's we got to stop doing that. So basically, Democrats have done more for black people than. Nah, I wouldn't say that. And the reason why I couldn't say that, blacks nobody can, because Democrats started being on our side in the late or the mid 1960s. As I told you last time, it was a money move. That was a good question. I do like that question. I'm not saying that. I'm gonna be personally honest. I don't know who did anything for us. I think personally, all of them love like us the same. You know, I think they all I think they all hate us the same. You know, and that's just me, just thinking out loud. I think they all dislike us the same. You know, no matter if they're conservative or liberal. They like us the same, but treat us all different. They treat us different. I think personally, and this is just how I think. I think a lot of white supremacists think all black people are subhumans. And it could be just because of education. This is what they learn in education. I mean, in their schools and stuff like that. You know, and it's. I had to teach my daughter about the fucking Civil War. Tell the truth about the Civil War. I had to tell an 8-year-old about the Civil War that the teacher's been lying about, talking about. Oh yeah, it was Lincoln that freed the slaves. No, the fuck it wasn't. Lincoln was in a very bad situation where his hands was forced by black Americans. You know, he knows black Americans get busy because of all the revolts that were happening, and not knowing that there was a revolt about to happen. So if that's not the devil blessing that man, like, come on. Let's sit here and not act like this isn't the truth. As I always say, I protect the law. I think the law is very important. This is why I said, and I'm gonna tell everybody, this isn't the Hebrew Israelite side of coming out of me. But at the end of the day, you still got to respect the law. Where, as I said, Daniel Penny choked out and killed a man for talking to himself on a train, and he had immigrants helping him. So this is, like I said, this is why I only trust my own kind. I don't really trust a lot of people with immigrant backgrounds. I just it puts this historically, it doesn't add up, or it doesn't add up to what I'm trying to get to. you know uh let's see what my mom beat up a female white teacher, and a week later our house got torched. Yeah. Yeah, Dorsey. You was living in Mississippi. Mississippi at the time was probably one of the worst towns. I mean, one of the worst states. Still to this day, I think it's still one of the worst states um, for racial relationships. You know, and I'm not talking about intimacy. I'm just talking about relationships between blacks and whites. Um, friendships, relationships, conversations. I think Mississippi has the worst as a whole. Are there worse? Yes, there are worse. But publicly, it's Mississippi. Let me see what Black Snow Bunny said. But you can't name anything Republicans have done for blacks than, than I can't name a thing that a Democrat did for Black Americans either. That's what I'm trying to tell you too, Black Snow Bunny King. I can't tell you. Like, Snow Bunny King. You can't force an answer out of me. I'm gonna put your joint on. You can't force an answer. I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know. I can't name one thing that a Democrat or Republican has done for a Black American. Everything was. Everything that a black Americans got from the government, we forced them to do. Like that's the thing, you know. Put it this way: this is what I really think about white supremacy. An animal is always going to be a fucking animal. You can't change an animal into a human because it has certain human human skills. It's still a fucking vicious animal, you know. Historically, what the white supremacy has been doing, we got to look at it as what it is. You know, let me see what Dorsey said. I won't put this one up. Not one Democrat in Texas touched this subject. No Beto, no Al Green, no Jasmine, no the lady in the cowboy hat. Oh, Dr. Matthews. I thought she did. I thought Dr. Matthews said something. Let me see. I swear to God, I thought Dr. Matthews said something about give me a second. Let me just see if I'm wrong. I swear to God, I thought Dr. Matthew touched her and what's that other dude's name? Dr. Matthew Carmelo. I thought she did. If anything, yeah. If she did it, she's paid. Yeah, I'm gonna say that, yo. There's gonna, yo, motherfuckers are about to get busy in Florida. I mean, in Texas. Well, I keep on saying Florida. Yeah, people are gonna get busy in Texas. I think that's what's gonna happen. I will say that. Yeah, you're right. Dr. Matthews didn't say anything. You know, am I? I think that's her name. Shit, excuse me. I don't think that's her name. I think I put the wrong information in. But yeah, yeah, Dr. Matthews. Yeah, she didn't say shit. You know, who knows, man? We gotta still see what's gonna happen within the next few days. I will say that. So, as I always say, you still gotta give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, this shit just happened yesterday. You know, so we gotta see what happens. You are right, Dorsey. She didn't say. I swear, I thought she said something, but she did it. You're right. Yeah, Dr. Matthews. I love that lady. That lady crazy. Uh, it was that way in LA until we burned down the city. Yeah, the Watts riot twice. Y'all burned down Watts twice. Yeah, I'll be bugging in California. But the thing about it, as I always say, one thing, the reason why I would never live in California is because of your gang laws. Your gang laws, it's abnormal, and I know why, because different cultures. Like in America, like in Boston, some of these like foreigners, they'll go and attack your family. They do shit like that, man. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, there was this case with this Cape Verdean gang in Taunton where this gang, I guess, shot the motherfucker's mother in the house and shit. Yo, it was weird, man. Like, cause the dude was in jail for, I guess, killing. I don't know what happened, killing his boy or some shit like that. And you went after man's mother, an innocent. No matter how much you hate somebody, you don't go after somebody's mother that never did anything or who's not even in that type of life. You know, that's just me, man. I know other people are different. This is like I said, that's more of an immigrant thing. You know, like in Haiti, like yo, if they know you got drugs in the house and in your mama's house, they'll tie up your mama and like torture her. Your mama and your father start torturing her. Them Haitians do that shit. It's like I said. We're all different, man. Our cultures is very different. This is why I say I don't believe in certain unities. You know, that's why I would never move to California. There's too many cultures there. Even now, where people who are black, you know, people who are black, they have to deal with that. They have to they gotta adapt to other people's cultures and shit like that. So I personally don't fuck with it like that. You know. Let me see. So it was that way in LA until we burned down the city. That's the reality of America. January 6th, mofos getting reparation from chimping out. Oh shit. Dorsey, you crazy. He said they getting reparations for chimping out. Shout out to the chimps in January 6th for chimping out and getting reparations. Them niggas is stupid. Let's see. I told you my parents were militant. Look up Dorothy Bennett Benford of Jackson. Uh, the shout out by the somebody's Liberation Army bronze. Not one was in front of the courthouse. Yeah, I know. I am just pointing out the reality of the matter. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Dosey, you're right about that. They weren't there. Um, and I'm gonna say this: white supremacists, especially white media, is gonna have a frenzy with this of demonizing black collective of black people, the whole race of black people. They're gonna have a frenzy with this. This is why I say a lot of this stuff that we do see, we're gonna have to push back on it, and the reason why is because a lot of that stuff what they're saying is not true. Because if the as I said, there's a conflict of interest. There's a conflict of interest when two people know each other. Hold on one second. When Asian women confess love for black men. Now, stay away from Asian women. I will say that. I'll tell you, listen, Michael Awesome, stay away from Asian women. I'm just letting you know, stay away from Asian women. No good, as they will say, no good. Yeah, just stay with black women. Let me tell you something. I don't be getting these black folks over here who want who denigrates black women, then go mess with another race and shit like that. That's why a lot of y'all motherfuckers be getting stabbed and stuff. I'm gonna be personally honest. Yo, just I understand if you like other ethnicities and shit like that, and you want to give a benefit of the doubt to another ethnicity. I could go on. Be my guest. You might find love. But don't try to denigrate a whole, all black women and say they all the same and they all want money. And white women want the same thing. Asian women want the same thing. Man, let me tell you something. If you date an African girl, they don't want flowers for Valentine. They want gifts. They want real gifts. They want you to spend money. When I say chivalry is dead, that shit is in the fucking grave, 6 feet deep, baby. I'm gonna be personally honest. This is why I told people like, yo, I'm not fighting over race. I'm fighting over the laws. And this is we can't even do a hypothetical with this. Austin Metcalf was the aggressor. Am I wrong? Was he the aggressor? You know, that's why I say he fucked around and found out. Bros, they're releasing lifers murders after 20 years. They are reformed. They are They in my anger. Jesus Christ, Dorsey. Nah, I know. My best friend, well, I mean, my childhood friend, he got released like 3 or 4 years ago. He had life without parole, but he was only 16 years old. He shot a person in the stomach, then in the head. He got out in his 30s. He was like 35 when he got out, 35, 36. Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, they're letting people out. I agree with that. You know, I'm not surprised, Dorsey. I'm gonna be personally honest. I'm not really surprised when it comes to shit like that. And the reason why it's, like I said, this is America, and as I always say, hold on one second. The race money evasion. Give me a second. Mm, I don't know who that guy is, but yeah, yeah, I respect the laws, man. Oh yeah, everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the live chat. And if you want to comment in the live chat, I'm about to click on subscribers only. So definitely you have to subscribe and you jump on it immediately. I put immediately so you don't have to wait 5 minutes. So subscribe, 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 and also share to like 5 different people or platforms to help the algorithm and the live chat. So definitely do that. And also if you want to donate, you can donate to Super Chat or Cash App. Um so if you donate to Super Chat, definitely ask a question in the Super Chat, and I'll definitely put it up here. Most of this stuff I won't put up here. Bronze. I knew this aging chick named Tammy from Malaysia. All she wants is Payless Shoes 94s. Dorsey, where you be meeting these girls at, man? You said only thing she wants is 94s. Shout out to Dorsey. But yeah, it comes like it's and also too my GoFundMe. Don't forget about the bronze. I mean, sorry, brother Morningstar, Sir Adam's great portrayal. Definitely donate to that. Um, we're gonna be, like I said, we're gonna be kicking off, and we're gonna start doing the recording in probably September, October. I want a fall weather. I want the weather to be fall instead of hot. So yeah. So September, October, I will be very, very busy. So if I don't do a show, just because I'm doing the short film, So definitely, I need y'all support. And like I said, whatever you give me, I'm doubling it. So if it's 7,000, I have to put up 7,000. So yeah, again, thank y'all for people who do support the GoFundMe. And I know y'all, a lot of y'all send it to the Cash App. So thank y'all, and thanks for the people who sent Cash Apps early. You know, thank you. Bronze, the three strike law was a hoax. If they're letting lifers out after 20 years. Yeah, I think so too, Dorsey. Or they're trying to fix it. Know what it is? It's probably being overpopulated. You know, the laws that they have been doing has been fucking up. So that's how we got to look at it. Give me a second, Dorsey. I'm about to start the show anyways. I have a few videos. Actually, you know what? Everybody, give me to Friday, next Friday, and I'll try to handle it this Friday to see about the call-ins and stuff like that. I really do want to do the call-ins with y'all, but give me to next Friday the most, and I'm gonna have y'all calling. I'll have y'all back in the links and stuff like that. It's just as I said that they didn't like that shit that Shabaka has done. And again, I apologize to everybody about that. I do apologize, but yeah, they didn't like that Shabaka shit. You know, and I like Shabaka. It's just Shabaka just do too much. He just does the most, you know. But also, I want to say this. Also, too, I want to say this. Shout out to X. Shout out to Rumble. Shout out to YouTube Kick. Thank y'all for letting me post my show on here, and thank for everybody for watching as well too. So give me a second. All right, but yeah, it's we gotta. I'm gonna be personally honest. As Black Americans, we gotta figure out that way. Somebody might have to think of something, and because we could all think together, and you know how we do. We all throw stuff out in the manosphere, say, "Oh, we can do this, and that," or call the government. Protest. What is it? Petition. Do petitions. You know, to see that this thing could get a retrial immediately. This man, I don't think personally he should be in jail. I think they need to make it um, if anything, I believe it should be self defense or manslaughter. You know, like I said, I think he fucked around and found out that black people don't play around out here when it comes with their lives. So that's just how I look at it. I don't think he should have killed them. I don't think he killed them on purpose, but shit, when you're dealing with this type of shit, this is what happens. Shit does go left. You know, I think 35 years is excessive. What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, American Dream guy? Um, yeah, I think he's innocent too. I think if anything, if he's gonna get charged, I think he should have got charged with manslaughter. I don't think murder. Yeah, he died, but I think it should have been manslaughter. And I think manslaughter is much more easier to charge him with. I don't. I think because this is put it this way. This is how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as, let's say a police officer shoot or kill somebody. They don't look at murder. They look at manslaughter. And this is how I'm looking at it. I don't think Carmelo meant to kill him, you know. I blame the parents for having a weak ass lawyer who didn't question a lot. I think this is why this case went fast. Yeah, he will probably do 10 years at the most. They're saying if anything, he'll do half. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. Um, Dorsey ever lived on a farm? I lived on a farm. I killed animals to eat. You know, and as I said, I think this was self defense. I think this was self defense. If anything, I think if they want to charge him with manslaughter and let him do 4 to 5 years. No disrespect, but you're a liar. I did nothing wrong. You don't want me on the show because I exposed the self hate. Shabaka, again, I defended you. And this is why I say I don't like defending you because at the end of the day, when you're wrong, you were wrong. You should have never done that shit. When I'm asking questions, Shabaka, let me ask you a question. When I asked you a question, did you answer the question or did I have to ask you 3 times the same question? You know? But like Shabaka, that's your opinion, you know? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, you're wrong. Fuck it. That's just how you feel, my nigga. I have to think of a better way to have you on the show now and other people. I have to start giving time. I'm personally, like I said, if everything goes right today, because I got to talk to them today, because I'm not going to class and I got a show tomorrow that I'm not going to because I got to go to work. But I'm gonna see if I can get it fixed, and I'm gonna put a post down there. I'm trying to get the shit ready by Friday. You know, if anything, you know, his lawyer was the worst. Yeah, his lawyer was horrible. You know, Shabaka is a clown. We talking about Carmelo, and he's talking about yeah. That's why I had to tell Snow Bunny, and thank you, Snow Bunny, for not doing it again. You know, thank you, Snow Bunny King. I appreciate that because at the end of the day, I want him to stay on topic because I'm trying to figure out how y'all think. Um, hey, Snow Bunny, don't lean into that because that's just Shabaka. We're talking about something different. Let's stay on topic. It's just like I said, Snow Bunny King. I'm trying hard to think of a way to have him back on the show without them complaining to me. But it happens. Everybody, let's stay on topic. Dorsey, let's stay on topic. I know Shabaka always messes up the vibes and stuff. And again, thank you, Snow Bunny King, for staying on topic. I think he had probably one of the worst lawyers, and I think they need to get their refund back. You know, directly asked bros. Shabaka directly asked bros what asked bronze and Dorsey to provide one source of FBA manufacturing, and they don't. What are you talking about? Snow Bunny King, stay on topic, man. But yeah, yeah, I think it's gonna be a retrial easily. It's just how fast is this retrial? Is it gonna take a few years? Is it gonna be a year? Like, don't forget, this man just started school. So don't forget that. You know. Let me ask you something, Snow Bunny King. Let me ask you something, Snow Bunny King. Do you do nothing but hey, Shabaka, stay on topic. I'm gonna tell you one more time. We're not talking about FBA situation. We are talking about an FBA situation, but that's not the topic. The topic is about this kid right here. You know. But yeah, I need y'all to stay on topic. Yeah, I think he's gonna get an appeal too. Oscar Maleka to you too, my friend. What's going on, Ali? Salute, salute, salute. But yeah, yeah, I think he's gonna get an appeal too. I think 'cause it's kind of excessive, and I think the thing about it, the world's gonna see that shit. Like, yo, because like I said, they're starting to see that this man, the judge, was friends with Metcalf's father. That's telling you something. Deliberately barge the case. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Um, Ali Howard, I'm actually agreeing with you. I'm 100%. I'm 100% agree with that because give me a second. Is my shit? Give me a second, everybody. Is it frozen? Okay, it's just my PS5. But yeah, everybody. I do agree with that. Yeah, I agree with you. What you're saying. The reason why I do agree, the reason why I agree because, like I said, there's a conflict of interest. I'm not gonna say that you're right. I'm not saying. I'm saying if anybody with a different opinion, like even Dorsey disagreed with me today. I don't mind Dorsey disagreeing with me. I don't mind any of y'all disagreeing with me. The question I want to ask you, Black Snow Bunny King, anybody actually, but I do want to hear specifically from Black Snow Bunny King. Do you believe that there was a racial factor to this? Do you believe there was a racial factor to this? So that's the question I want to ask specifically to Snow Bunny King, but to everybody else as well. You know, the reason why I say Snow Bunny King because I know how he feels about Black Americans. He thinks we're ghetto. He thinks like a white person thinks about us. He thinks about us. Thank you, Dorsey. I do appreciate that, man. This is what type. I'm gonna say this, Dorsey. These are the type of shows I do want to have too. I do want to show. I do want to show. I do want to do current events as well. It's just with me. I do want to do current events where a lot of us can talk about certain things. Everything doesn't have to be about foundational Black Americans. I know we're the life of the party. I do. I get it. But at the end of the day, we do have to talk about, if anything, we could talk about the Black diaspora. I do want to have. I do want y'all to feel like, yo, y'all can talk about the Black diaspora. You know, and it don't have to always be Black diaspora against Black Americans, also known as foundational Black Americans. I do want to have these conversations where we can say like, yo, you know what? Hell yeah, it was a racist kangaroo court. Yeah, I think so too, Dorsey. Snow Bunny King, I'm waiting for your thoughts. I want to know what you think, man. Cause you say you're educated, so I just want a hypothesis, an educated guess or theory, you know, whatever way how you put it. I just want to know what you think because l- today I did agree with you to a certain extent when you started talking about something. You know, and like I said, like I like to have shows like this. I like to have shows like this too because I want to know what y'all be thinking. You know, like I said, I know Black Americans are the life of the party in the whole 9 yards, but we still should have these we should still talk about current events. You know what I was actually going to talk about? I was going to talk about the Jay-Z situation, what he did at the picnic, was it the Roots concert. I did want to talk about that, and don't forget, next week is Juneteenth. You know, he said I would have to research that, Dorsey. I don't know nothing about that. I would have to research that. That's why I'm like I try to be truly honest with y'all. If I don't know, I don't know. I have to do research. That's why I always tell. That's why when Snow Bunny King was asking me about what has the Democrat, who has done more for Black America, the Democrats or the Republicans. Um, I don't know. What is FB? All right, Doris Shabaka, I gotta sit you down, man. I told you stay on top. See, Shabaka, why you make me do this to you, man? And I'm just telling you just to stay on topic, man. If you don't like this topic today, why why do that, Shabaka? You know, I'm in. Look at me, Shabaka. I'm being cordial with you. I'm being very cordial with you, and you're still doing it. You got to stop doing that, man. When I ask you to do something, just do it, Shabaka. Like, why? Why do that? Like, come on, Shabaka. You gotta do better, man. Like, you really gotta do better, Shabaka. I know you want to talk about Pan Africans and all. I will do a show on Pan Africans tomorrow. But this right here, it's this is the stuff that we should be talking about right now. You know, was there race tensions to it? Dorsey said there was race tensions to it. Dorsey believes that there was race tensions to it. I believe. I think there was a little bit. I think put it this way. I think there's a lot of race tensions to this, because at the end of the day, out of so many black people who live in Texas, there wasn't one black person in there. So one thing. Hold on one second. Yeah, like I believe that there was a lot of race tensions on here. I mean, onto this case, and I think a lot of people sees it, and it's not going to be like the 1960s and the 1970s where people are okay with this. No, it's going to be like, okay, you know what? This shit's going to be a protest. People are actually going to get busy because like, put it this, like, again, I gave I gave Robin a scenario. I still didn't hear back from Robin though. I gave Robin a scenario. I told Robin, I was like, let's change colors. Let's say it was you, Robin. You're like 160 pounds, and this big, corn-fed black man. This corn-fed black man. Yes, I was just saying that, Jeff. Thank you. I'm gonna put that up there. They got pictures together. I will say that they have pictures together, and I said that's a conflict of interest. That's a big conflict of interest. And this is how we got to see it. But again, I want to say this. I can't help it. Shabaka is making my. Yeah, I put Shabaka on timeout for 30 minutes. Hopefully he can get his shit together. I didn't even do 10 today. I did 30. I'm making him think like, yo, just stick to the topic, Reaper. That Shabaka guy brings down the quality of your broadcast. More black excellence always on. Yeah, I had to put him in timeout, man. And the thing about it, this is why I told Blacks Nobody thank you, because I let him troll all the time. But when we have shows like this, I want him, like he said, he's educated. He went to college and stuff. I want a educated theory of his. Sometimes everything doesn't have to be black versus immigrants or black versus everybody. Sometimes it's like, this is the current events that's going on. Is there racial tensions? Or and the thing, thank you, Ali Howard. I just told him that yesterday and he got mad at me. Shabaka got mad at me. He said, I'm just mad because he was telling the truth. Snow Bunny King, you said the same thing, but I said no. I was like, yo, this is what they told me. And I was like, and I was mad because actually I thought it was a decent show. He was like, no, it wasn't a good show. I let Shabaka talk. First of all, I let Shabaka talk too long. Second of all, Shabaka wasn't answering the question. So now this is why I'm not dropping down the links right now or even taking phone calls. And Dorsey knows that I would take his phone call or convo. I would take his phone call any day of the week, but this was a business move where for right now I can't take the phone calls. I have to answer through this. You know, like we got to get like I personally. It's not even we. I gotta get my shit together. I can't be fucking up. If I fuck up, I can't have a good show for y'all. And I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem when I can't give you the best show that I'm supposed to be giving you. Um, if any person, ooh, excuse me, any person who podcasts understands that, when you have to shit down, it has to be a business move, and that's what I did. I had to, it's like, all right, I have to shut it down. I had my little outfit on and everything, telling everybody like, "Yeah, man, I got bad news. We got to shut it down for a month." And I'm gonna say, and I'm trying to, and I'm telling y'all, I'm trying to, and this is me. I'm trying to get it back open by Friday. If I can do it, man, yo, we're back in business. We in the game, But right now, it got to be shut down, just for better reasons. But yeah, we can't keep on doing that with Shabaka. So I have to sit you down, Shabaka. We got to answer these questions. So before I start this show, I want to say this. I want to say this. I do think there's racial tensions, but with these, and this is why I always tell people I don't do hypotheticals. Because technically, this is kind of a hypothetical. This isn't a law. I mean, basically, we're breaking our own laws to make this guy go to jail. If you kind of look at it, we're breaking our laws for a black man to go to jail. I think. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna put down a toll. I'm gonna do a poll right now. The poll is: do you think the Carmelo Anthony case just expose um the government breaking their own laws? I mean, yeah, the government breaking their own laws, or the is the government breaking their own? Because I don't know how to consider the judge. Oh, is the justice system breaking their own laws? That's gonna be the tolling poll right now. So give me like 30 seconds, dude. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all want to do? We're gonna see how this tolling poll goes. But would you want to do that as a topic question tomorrow? You know, you know. Yeah. So it's like I said. I think a lot of this stuff right here. Yeah. I think To me, we might do this as a topic question tomorrow. Did the Carmelo Anthony case just expose the justice system breaking their own laws? You know, I forgot to put of breaking their own laws, but breaking their own laws is kind of it's straight. I just need a comma probably. But yeah, it's that's something to really think about because you also got to understand, like, yo, you know, if they can do this, what else can they do? What else? Because don't forget, as I always tell people, and this is why I always tell people all the time, I would never marry a white woman. There's only very few white women I would date or even thinking about marry. I don't think I would marry a white woman. No. I'm more. I think a white woman will get you killed faster than a black woman. You know. Uh, that's just me. I'm not kidding. Archery shooting per se. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. But yeah, it's this is one of those things where, like I say, like I don't like doing hypotheticals because this is what type of hypotheticals turn into. I'm not a big fan of hype. I'll tell you, I'm not a big fan of hypotheticals. I never have been, won't be, because it's really that it's happened. And when I want to go on things that, like, there's a certain situation. If it does, this might happen. Like if I do this, this is what's gonna happen. Not hypothetically, if this happens, and it's like some super weird, type of problem. And this, I'm not saying that shit like that can't happen. I'm just saying it rarely happens. So it's, yeah, I don't like it. It's just me. And it's just probably is because of me. You know, but yeah, let's jump into the show. Let's jump into the videos. We talked for almost damn an hour and a half. So, because I feel like we're gonna go through this real fast. So we're gonna. I might go back to for. I might go back and forth with this. So just give me a second. Give me. Let's see. All right, let's go.
Fox News Alert, the jury just sentenced Carmelo Anthony. We're going to be back with Brooke Taylor, who's live outside the courthouse. What do we have?
Hi, Jesse. Some pretty breaking news to give you right now. The jury has sentenced Carmelo Anthony to 35 years behind bars after finding him guilty of murder. I'm told that he is eligible for parole after he serves half his time. The jury.
Give me a second. Take this damn thing off. Give me a second, everybody.
Had the option to give him as much as 99 years behind bars. But again, they have chosen to give him 35 years. And I do want to mention, we showed you those protests, a bunch of supporters out here. They've erupted again. Pretty shocking.
This is the thing. This one thing I don't like about Fox News. They show his mugshot of him looking like a criminal instead of showing his family pictures, and they show this man's family picture like he's a good child. I have an issue with that because you're trying, and this is why I said they're going to have a frenzy with demonizing black men. You know, this is why I didn't want to talk about foundational Black American because a lot of these people fit in. You know, and I'm not, and like I said, I support everybody, but I'm just not going to defend everybody. I'm not going to stick my neck out for a lot of these immigrants. I'm going to be personally honest and tell you, like, oh, yeah, well, this is how I feel about this shit. But I don't like how Fox News demonizes this black kid and this a big fucking, like, why didn't they show his football pictures? You know, that's weird. That's weird. And this is what comes with Fox News.
This is a direct quote. I just heard one supporter say, quote, those twins, meaning the victim and his twin brother who were there at the time, are, quote, domestic racist terrorists. So,
damn. Remember what I told Snow Bunny King?
Unbelievable, Jesse.
I'm sorry, not Snow Bunny King. Remember what I just told St. Michael's? I was like, yo, they're known for being racist. I said, you don't think he was the aggressor. This is why I asked that. I said, they're known for being, both of them twins is known for being racist. That's telling you something. That's telling you something. That's telling you that, like, yo, you know what? They were the aggressors. They were about to do something. They are known for doing racist shit. You don't think that let alone would have jumped this kid who has epilepsy? What was that? I even lived in Orange County, California, neo-Nazi neighborhood. Yeah, that shit's crazy. But it's this shows you, this shows you a lot. This shows you this kid's character. You know, bronze. If YN saying they on demon time, how is this on demonization? How is this demonization? Just have its both ways. Um, but you, Dorsey, one thing I gotta say, that's a very small percentage of YNs, like legit YNs. We got we got people who are actually really doing it, and we got people who are flogging. A lot of these kids are flogging of being gangsters, and they're not gangsters. That's why a lot of people are going to jail, Dorsey. And I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, a lot of these kids are just are nerds, you know. And I'm gonna be personally honest. That's what they are. That's what they are. They're also a lot of these kids are squares. You know, they hear what they, and don't forget, a lot of these kids don't have leaders. You know, a lot of these kids are Weird Al Yankovic era. That's the Weird Al Yankovic era. That's where they come from. It's okay to be fucking weird, you know. So a lot of these kids come from that type of era. So a lot of these kids ain't gangsters. A lot of these kids don't. A lot of kids just know of gangsters, you know, and they just get themselves caught up. But let's listen to what this white woman said again.
Those twins, this is a direct quote. I just heard one supporter say, quote, those twins, meaning the victim and his twin brother who were there at the time, are, quote, domestic racist terrorists. So pretty unbelievable, Jesse.
All right, well, only 17 years and he's available for parole. Kind of seems soft. I would have given him the chair, but that's just me, Brooke. Thank you so much.
That's why I say white people don't see black people as humans. That's why I always tell St. Michael's, like, you have a weird fetish for black trauma and black disorganization. Fastest trial sentencing in history of courts. Yeah, I think so too. Ali Howard. Yeah, I'm thinking so too because that. Hold on one second. Give me a second. Yeah, I think that shit's gonna. Yo, King Flex said that he thinks that these videos is gonna start coming out. I think he said he think those videos is gonna start coming out. I think they're gonna start coming out too. Um, some way somehow, and you know what? Um, Carmelo Anthony is gonna get restitution. He's gonna get restitution because of it. All jokes aside, I think he's gonna get restitution. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on one second. Give me a second, everybody. In the celebration, 17th. Okay. But yeah, my baby mother hit me up. She says my son's last day is. Give me a second, everybody. I gotta look at my calendar. Give me a second. I just gotta look at the calendar. I gotta figure out what day is the 17th. That's it. Okay, I'll be out of work by then. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be personally honest. I'm not surprised. Bronze, I agree, but if YNs are on demon time, it's a high school trend. Like, yeah, it is. I agree with that, Dorsey. You are right about that. Dorsey said this. This is what I'm agreeing with. Yeah. Yeah, that Tupac era, man. That Tupac era. And Tupac was a good guy too. That's the thing. Tupac was a good guy. You know, he went backwards instead of forwards. When he was making a difference, he was going backwards into the thug life. And the thing about it is because this is how people were looking at him. He wasn't real. Tupac wasn't really a blood. I'm gonna be personally honest. I don't think Tupac was a really a blood. Like I don't think people were saying Michael Jackson was a Crip. I don't know how true that shit is. I know Tupac was no thug, but you know the motherfucker was a good guy. Tupac was out here shooting off duty police officers. You know, only people I know whoever did. What's going on, Ray Ray? Dude on the left is Edom empathy of white privilege. Yeah, Edomite for the epilate. Was it empathy? White people. Yeah, he is. The thing about it, I say this: a lot of white people don't see black people as human; they see us as subhumans. That's why they think we're barbaric. We don't feel pain. You know, that's why when shit happened to us, they don't feel bad for us because they don't see us as human. You know, that's why they can make excuses of us getting killed out here. You know, one thing about me, I stopped, and I know this was a black thing, seeing great in everybody. I just take people for what they show me. You know, if you show me you're a fucking racist and you're not trying to learn, that's how I'm gonna take you. You know, if you're a good white guy, you know, you're trying to learn, you're trying to be different. Yeah, I understand. But at the end of the day, this shows biasness in the justice system. I think a lot of this stuff is I think a lot of this stuff it's gonna fuck the justice system up, you know. And a lot of people are gonna start suing the justice system. And this is why I always tell people all the time, don't force black people's hand. Once you start forcing black people's hand, you're gonna start getting sued. That's gonna be more tax dollars. You're gonna be in court more. That's more tax dollars. A lot of this shit's gonna be going up. You know, a lot of people are gonna be losing money. You know, oh, what's going on, Ray Ray? Salute. So again, white conservatives, you got to be careful. Trust me. Last thing y'all ever want to do is force black people's hand. Just listen to this racist bastard again.
Parole kind of seems soft. I would have given him the chair, but that's just me, Brooke. Thank you so much.
Oh, she didn't like.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now.
Hit the shotgun. Yeah. That's why I said, yeah, man. A lot of people don't see us as a lot of people see us as subhumans. You know. Um, Before I go into the Willie D one, I want to go into this one right here. Pause. I want to go pause. Big pause. Before we watch this, before we
The
watch the
beautiful
Willie D.
sister, both of these beautiful sisters, but the sister after her, which is the former house, right? Peace, everybody. Welcome back to All Viral Access Media, man. We're going to get right to it, man. Listen, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that like button. But the most important button you need to press is the share button. It ain't going to kill you. It's for free. Now we got these two beautiful sisters, right? And one of them is a former prosecutor who literally exposes how fraudulent, how crooked, how illegal, and how racist and biased this whole court proceeding transpired. And
And shout out to Mike Larry, Mike Lau. Mike Lau's a New Yorker, man. He gets busy out here. He's doing good. Shout out to you. He's doing good in the podcast world, man. He's going against people. So shout out to Mike Lau. If you got a chance, look at his content. I get great ideas from him just watching his content. And it might not be what he's talking about. It'd be something he probably said that I wanted, like, oh, yo, let me ask the audience this. That's what I use. That's how I get my contents, just watching other contents. Like, there was like 2 weeks ago, I got content from Breeze Omega. And shout out to Breeze. I heard him on the Tariq Nasheed radio. Salute, player. But yeah. Yeah, this was
Goes by her experience as being a prosecutor herself. And we just have to understand the type of people that we are dealing with. I'm not going to talk your head off. I'm going to let the sister in the hot pink speak first. She's going to drop some shit, and we're going to have the beautiful sister, both of these beautiful sisters, but the sister after her, which is the former prosecutor, speak. And this is powerful. I ain't going to talk no more. Let's go.
You know, 35 years. That's out in them. Black people. Y'all need to give them a chance. I'm talking to us. I'm not concerned about any other race. I'm talking to black people. It is imperative that we stick together. We pour our own dollars in our own communities. I'm trying to see too. They do not like us. They do not care for us. They don't. We got to stop fighting each other. We got to stop killing each other. And we have to support one another. If you see your sister or your brother struggling, you have to be there for them. We all we got. We are all we got. They have taught us today.
I'm gonna say this. She's right and she's wrong. The reason why I want to say she's right and she's wrong is because we always have stuck together. If you notice, a lot of Black Americans supported Carmelo Anthony. It's not like he was left in the dirt. He wasn't left in the dirt. The thing about it, publicly, we have seen Black Americans. This I'm talking about publicly, not what we do behind closed doors and what we have been doing for the last 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. We have been supporting Black people. We have been supporting Black people. Um, I'm gonna say this: if anything, we need to publicize it more. As I did last week about the Freedmen petition in Boston. They're doing a Freedman petition, so we're trying to get names. No matter if you're in the state, out the state, if you're not a Freeman, if you are a Freeman, support it. And this is what, and I'm gonna say this: this is what my platform is for. If you need something done and I can help you, like I said, I can support it. Yes, I can. So I'll support you. You have some project with E Will. He has a project. Actually, let me put that up. He didn't tell me to do it, but I just did it because I wanted to. You know, support his Instagram, because he's selling, I think, drones. So definitely follow E Will. E Will, he's one of our audience members that is on this show. His joints up here. Try to get that. I'm gonna slow it down too. Try to get his information and off of IG and see what type of how you can support him. But yeah, we have always supported each other. It's just when you add other races, I mean, other ethnicities like African, Caribbean culture, even Afro Latino culture, it's gonna be different. There's always different. This is why we have this tension now, because everybody think we're the same. We're not the same. You know, I can't give my opinion on what I do, but Let me pose this question. What if Ray, you crazy. Yeah. I remember Milton, the one who slapped his grandmama for some chicken. Yeah. I love my son, but I raise men, not children. I don't probably meant to say I don't do retarded retard their growth. I'm not getting that. Soft parents always feel sorrow in the end. To a certain extent, I'll agree with that, Dorsey. Um, as a parent, I am well balanced with my kids. I don't treat my kids the same, and the reason why I don't treat my kids the same because both of my kids have different abilities. There's certain things I can be more, understanding with my son than with my daughter. There's certain things I can be understanding with my daughter instead of my son. So I get what you're saying. But yeah, I can't, I can't fully agree on what she's saying. But then let's finish. Maybe I'm missing something.
Taught us today that the Constitution is not for us.
I called it.
They have taught us today that we are still counted as 3/5 of human beings. We are all we got. Talk to your youngins. How long did they give them, sisters? Talk to your youngins. They gave them 35 years. Child. They have told us today that any other race could come in our life and do whatever they want to do to us. And we cannot defend ourselves. It's bullshit. Was he surrounded?
Look at these emotionless beings.
Yeah. But the thing about it, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. This message shouldn't be coming from a mother. This should be coming from a father. You know, and I got nothing against women. It was an emotional speech, but we want to hear what's next. Because at the end of the day, I would have still shot him or stabbed him. That's not gonna stop me from using my gun. I'm gonna be personally honest. If you threaten my life and you put hands on me, I'm shooting you, my nigga. I'm still gonna shoot you. I'll do the time. Fuck it. Fuck it. And I'm just gonna have to reappeal of it. Shabaka, we're not talking about Pan Africanism. That's strike one. I'm just letting you know. I don't, and personally, you already know I don't support Pan Africanism. You know, I support y'all from a distance, but don't broadcast that shit on my show. I don't want no Pan African shit on my show because at the end of the day, this is about Black Americans. If we were talking about Pan Africanism, maybe, but no Pan Africanism. Um, the Carmelo case exposed nothing. We didn't. We didn't. We didn't already know about the justice system. Facts. This was white people, and yep, white people, and yeah, I agree with you right there. That's why I say he's gonna reappeal. This is gonna go into a retrial, and he's gonna get off. Know what it's gonna be like? Remember, Tyler Randolph, where he shot them dudes for trying to because of that girl in Florida, and it was a stand your ground law, and he shot like 39 times, and it was like, oh, why did you shoot so many times? And he's like, because I wanted to know if he wanted to know that his family was safe. And one of those guys died. It's gonna be like that, but it's gonna be retrialed while he's already in jail. That's what's gonna happen. That's like again, that's what I think is gonna happen. But this does expose the justice system. That's why I put that. That's why I put the poll up there. Did this expose the case? You know, one says no, three says yes. You know, and I'm not gonna say, well, you're stupid for saying no. That's just your opinion. You know, like I said, I might challenge your opinion, and I'll be like, wait, this is the facts. You know, degraded and insulting people is not. That's strike two, Shabaka. You gonna get another 30 minutes, man. This nigga Shabaka's bugging. You know, and Shabaka, this is why we don't drop links right now, and or we don't have phone calls because of you. Because of you, man. You gotta own that. I have to, and you could make it how you could make it sound no matter how you want it to sound. But the reason why I'm not dropping the link, and I would have loved to drop the link for this, because this is a great topic question that we should be talking about. But Shabaka, you start talking about Pan Africanism and fucking FBAs, and we're talking about the justice system. And like to me, it's not about color; it's about protecting the law. This right here just exposed the law. This just right here just exposed the law. Let's finish this, man.
He was surrounded on the video. I seen the video. We asking. We want to know.
Oh.
We want to know the truth.
And then you see
Did y'all hear what I just heard? Hold up.
He was surrounded on the video. I seen the video. We asking. We want to know the truth. We want to know the truth.
and then you see what she said.
I think that video is going to start coming out. I'm telling y'all, everybody. He's getting out of jail. He's going to get out of jail. If this video comes out, I'm 90% sure he's getting out of jail. He's getting out of jail. No ands or buts about it. If they put that fucking video out and this lady says she seen the video, if that shit goes on Twitter, niggas is gonna lose their job. So a lot of people, somebody's going to jail for corruption, and that kid is getting out of jail with restitution. And I'm gonna say this to the Anthony family: if this shit comes out and he gets out of jail, you better sue. You need to sue. Because come on. There's no way in hell he should be in jail. And you know what? They should fight to pass policies and laws to protect Black Americans for shit like this. And I'm gonna say this: the person I think need to go to jail is the judge and his attorney. Those are the people I think need to go to jail.
That she seen the video. One of many who actually saw what happened that they did not show in that damn court.
They haven't released the video, Mama. They have not released that video.
He was already But I'm telling my people, I'm telling my Black people, I don't care about no other race. I'm not concerned about any other race. I'm concerned about the Black race. They have been killing us and lynching us, and we have been doing it to ourselves. It's time out. Right? We have to support one another. We have to pour our dollars into our own community. And we also have to get our dollars together to help this family. We need a better defense team to appeal this foolishness.
Right.
And to try to fight to get it up out of here. It was off of race. This case was built off of race.
100%.
There was no Black jurors. Okay? All of these witnesses These teenage witnesses that came in here and testified, I sat and I watched them. They lied. Their stories were inconsistent. Black people, y'all better wake up. Wake up today, or it's gonna be too late. Let me say something to you. Ma'am, can we get your name? Let me say something. As a former prosecutor,
Let her talk.
this was a legal lynching that happened in here today. Exactly what happened.
We can't hear you.
I said, as a former prosecutor, this was a legal lynching that happened in this slaughterhouse. This is a slaughterhouse. This is not a courthouse.
We had no chance.
This courthouse is designed when you would come here and you look like us to slaughter you.
Oh
That
shit.
judge intentionally.
Yeah, shit's about to be fucked up. Don't know why people are upset. Carmelo's period. Receive over $500,000 in they brought. Black Snow Bunny King. Let me finish reading. And they bought a house in Guy Public. Black Snow Bunny King. They already had money. What are you talking about? His family, yo, he come from a middle class family. Snow Bunny King. He's not like a broke nigga who's doing who. His family is not a broke nigga that's just doing nigga shit. What are you talking about, Snow Bunny King? You got to be careful what you say, man. And this is why I said this is the image that you put out about Black Americans. You got to stop that. You know, I'm gonna say this, Snow Bunny King. This isn't a FBA thing. This is a you got to understand. This is a law thing. We should be upset about the law. We shouldn't be upset about if he was black or white. This is a law thing. This is what protects you, Black Snow Bunny King. No, Dorsey. Oh, Dorsey, they didn't buy a house. They already had a house. For once. They already Dorsey, they had money already. You know, they didn't buy a house. You know, they probably sold their house and moved and got a new house, but they already had a house, Dorsey, you know? That doesn't matter. They raised over. Yes, for legal fees, Black Snow Bunny King. And they were paying legal fees out their own pocket. Let me ask you a question, Black Snow Bunny King. Have you ever went to court for some like federal or some have you ever been to court for a federal crime? The reason why I'm asking you that, do you know how much that costs? Like, if you want a real good lawyer, you're spending over 100,000, and that's just starting. You know, I remember. Let me not talk about my uncle's case. Nah, Dorsey, they already had a house. You know, but at the end of the they already had a house. Yeah, that they've come from a middle class family. That they didn't come from no like, and don't forget, look what county they're in. If anything, they would probably had to move out the house that they were in to move into something else. You know? Because don't forget, you just committed a crime. Doris, let me ask you a question. Let's say you're 17 years old. You don't get into no crimes. You just killed somebody who's a known racist. Are you gonna feel comfortable in your own house? I'm gonna do hypotheticals because I know y'all like to do hypotheticals. They had over $100,000. Again, it costs more than $100,000 when you want a good lawyer and a good legislator. Not a legislator. I'm sorry, a good attorney. You know, real talk. It costs money. You know, I personally made because I know people with money. I see some people pay over 250,000. You know, maybe a little bit more, and this is for fraud. They paid 250. I seen a guy paid maybe 300 300,000. Drug case, you know. Yeah, they had over 50K. Yeah, I get that, and I'm not disagreeing with you. They probably had like $50,000, but it cost money. Black Snow Bunny King, you know, it costs a lot of money. Yeah, them lawyers ain't cheap. The lawyer that what's his name had and this is Boston. The lawyer that what's his name G Herbo, when he got caught in Massachusetts, he paid almost a half a million, and that's in Boston. You know, and I know Boston and Texas economy, Massachusetts and Texas economy is different. I do agree with that. Like I said, my family got burnt out, and y'all left, right? So you got to move somewhere. I'll put it this way. I'll play hypotheticals with you. I think he did spend. I think if we're gonna play hypotheticals and he did spend money, I think he spent money to get the fuck out of Dodge. I personally think that if he did move, if he spent money on a house, I don't think he spent a whole bunch of money. I think he spent enough money to move somewhere where he can be safe. My mom took the fire insurance and got a PhD. Shout out to Dorsey's mom. She said she took the fire insurance and got a PhD. I seen that. I seen that. And I'm gonna be personally honest. I think G Herbo said something. I think G Herbo said something, and the reason why, and I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I think he might say. I think he said a little something, and because like when you're fucking with state money, when you stealing money, they don't play around with you. I'd rather take a murder case than anything with fraud or stealing from the government, because they'll throw the book at you. You know, and G Herbo got fucking he got probation. I have never seen that ever with anybody stealing money. Don't forget, Fat Joe fucked up on his taxes and his accountant was stealing the money and Fat Joe had to go to jail. So G Herbo was stealing money, I think, for like a year and a half. So they don't fuck around with money. So this is what I'm trying to say. Who knows, Dorsey? And I'm just throwing out that hypothetical because people say, "Oh, she spent it on a house." I think they're smart enough to not spend all of it on a fucking house. If they did spend it on a house, because I don't know. I'm not gonna be like I know. I'm not gonna act like I know. But I know that they had some type of money. You know, they were broke and like they wasn't Shiloh broke. And if anybody don't know what I'm talking about, Shiloh, when she was calling that little immigrant a nigga, you know, in Minnesota, and she had to get the fuck out of Dodge because niggas was on her back bumper. And I'll say this about Massachusetts. Massachusetts, you can't get people's paperwork if you're not on the paperwork. So if somebody say, "Yeah, I got paperwork on them in Massachusetts," you're probably on that paperwork. That's how you got it, or you know somebody who's on that paperwork. That's the only way you can get paperwork. You can't go down to City Hall and get the paperwork, or you can't go on. You can't really go on the internet and get the paperwork. There's niggas getting affidavits in other states, and I don't know how they're doing it. You can't do that in Massachusetts. It's different. Um, Give me a second. Okay. So yeah, it's different. So I'm not gonna say this Black Snow Bunny King. I'm gonna read nigga on what I said. I don't know if they spent it on a house. Even with you, Dorsey, I don't know if they spent it on a house. Oh, know what, Dorsey? I just read what you just said. You did say they got death threats and rushed to a new house. Okay. Well, Dorsey, it was about safety. So I didn't know you said that. I apologize, Dorsey. Or should I just read an article about fraud? Someone just stole from in the NYS and got a decade and had to pay half back the restitution. Yeah. Don't forget about the Wolf of Wall Street. That's another one. What's his name? Jordan Beneford or some shit like that? Yeah, the motherfuckers was stealing millions. And he snitched on everybody. So yeah, we gotta be honest about that.
Sealed us from being able to have a legal right to see what the fuck was going on in this case for a motherfucking reason. Because he know when we have access, we don't play about our people.
Yeah.
So how do he silence us? He closed the fucking case so we can't see what the fuck is going on. Also the reason he shut down black media from coming, he only had these white motherfuckers up in that courthouse so that they could tell the wrong fucking story about Karmelo Anthony. And they can tell the white story about the domestic terror, because that's what they were. Those twins are domestic racist terrorists. Make no motherfucking mistake. That judge fucked him. That prosecutor fucked him. There was no, as a former prosecutor, they did not meet their motherfucking burden.
That's right.
I'm gonna say this. I don't even think they had evidence to charge him for murder. I'm gonna even go even that far. I don't think they even had evidence to charge Carmelo Anthony for murder. It's all he said, she said. Like, let me ask y'all a question. Black Snow Bunny King, you never answered my question. Which stuff that we know are facts in the case? Like, when I say facts that we know that this happened, not he said, she said, because there were people that reneged on what they said. So where do we know which is facts? Because we don't even we never seen the video of him getting stabbed. There's no video out here. As many shits that we have seen, we niggas have seen. I think what's his name get shot. I think we even seen King Von get shot. He says, "I'm white and I said so." You're right, man. Perfect blackness. I actually agree with you. But this is where I'm going to say, because I don't know either. I haven't seen no evidence. All I've been hearing is he say, she say. And this is why I said, like, this case is, Texas is going to be paying some money. Like I said, Dorsey, it should have been charged manslaughter. It's hard to prove somebody murdered this kid. Because when you murder somebody, you meant to do it. I mean, you wanted to do it, and you did it. That's what he did. Is he just wanted to get the fuck away from these two big fucking corn-fed white boys. Did he meant to kill him? No. And this is where murder gets thrown out. This is why I'm saying, what the fuck is going on? This is why everybody's saying this is more racial than laws, and this is why I'm saying this might expose the law. I mean, the justice system, and and like I said, a lot of the justice system is going to be sued. A lot of that, and I'm gonna tell you, if this comes back on that judge and that attorney, a lot of those cases that he had and that attorney had is going to get thrown out, and it's going to be retrialed. A lot of these people are going to get freed. This shit happened in Boston with my late uncle who just passed away a few months ago. They called my uncle back, say, oh, the lawyer that he had was doing side he's doing side hustles where he was putting people in jail, making people sign plead guilty agreements on purpose and not fighting their cases. And that guy's in jail right now. So again, I know I'm gonna say this. I know that family still has some of that money left, so I think they need to set up a petition. And this is me. Set up a petition to get this case on and popping right now because it's gonna start a spark in America. And you don't want this shit getting out to the UK and shit or in Europe. So America needs to fix this shit now before it's gonna spark an outrage. It's gonna be worse than the George Floyd. I'm gonna be personally honest. It's not gonna be I can't breathe. It's gonna burn this motherfucker down because you know what? We're tired of this shit. This shit happened before with black people. When black people just stop burning shit down because they feel injustice. Don't forget, this ain't these old niggas that who has been doing shit like this. So just remember, shit's gonna get burned down. We don't want no outrage to happen with no black Americans. This is what happens with when shit goes left with black Americans. This ain't foreigners when they say I forgive you. We can be friends. No, these are black Americans. Is I'm gonna burn your shit down. Niggas is gonna get fucked up. If anybody ever know about the Rodney King riot, they were pulling that white boy out that fucking truck and beat the shit out of him. And he was on Donnyview with the guy who beat the shit out of him, talking about I don't know why you did that. I didn't do anything. No, Bronze. Nobody ain't gonna do shit. The DOJ ain't gonna. They're gonna investigate it, and let me tell you why. Because they're gonna push. They're gonna push hard on it. I'm telling you, Dorsey. This isn't no regular case. This is gonna spark an outrage, especially in Texas. Texas is known for racism because it's a conservative state. Yes, and I love Texas. I would never live in Texas, but bullshit happens in Texas. We have been seeing the white supremacy with the Mexicans and white people. But the thing about it hasn't been on this type of platform. When you put shit on a different platform, this is what's gonna happen. And I'm gonna say this: the worst thing you could do is get women involved. Because once you get women involved, I'm gonna say this, and this is why I always tell black men stay with black women because they will fight for you. They'll be the number one in your corner. They'll be the number one saying like, "Yo, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get a result, and this is what's gonna happen." It's so bad the raggedy ass fucking Black Lives Matter is trying to jump on this. Because you know why? It's picking up steam. It might go slowly, but it's gonna pick up steam. And you know these people are not gonna forget about Karmelo Anthony. Just like people didn't forget about Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny's in hiding right now. We haven't heard shit about Daniel Penny. He's in hiding. You think that motherfucker can walk around in New York? No. They had him get him out the fucking way. Bro, that 35 years who stand up and appeal to court. Yeah. They're gonna appeal that shit. Because they have no evidence. Then the juror, then you have all white juror, then you had a judge that's fucking he's known for he knows Metcalf's family. Like, come on. And that's a conflict of interest.
Not proven intent. They did not prove it knowingly, but they had them white dumb motherfuckers on their jury for a reason. When they pick their jury like that, that's designed because they know that their people are not smart as us.
That's right.
We can read through the bullshit. They follow their bullshit and believe what they say. So when we are out here discrediting ourselves, it's giving them an advantage. They know how to divide us, and that's through the court system. And they silenced us from the court system. They silenced us from having access. Had these people out here like a fucking Hunger Games to have access to a trial that set Karmelo up to have an unfair advantage. When you see that motherfucking prosecutor, ask him, why do he have a settlement with the
Oh shit!
Fair advantage. When you see that motherfucking prosecutor, ask him, why do he have a settlement with a civil case for harassing 7 white women at this fucking office?
Damn.
And let's get to
County District Attorney's Office employees filed a lawsuit accusing the DA of sexual harassment. He denies the allegations and calls them politically motivated. Fox 4 Stephen Dial live with more details on the lawsuit and reactions to them. Stephen.
Yeah, 75-page lawsuit from
Damn.
former and current employees of the Collin County District Attorney's Office. We reached out to the district attorney and the assistant district attorney, and they both said that these allegations are false and said it's politically motivated. 1 week before Election Day, multiple current and former employees with the Collin County District Attorney's Office filed a 75-page lawsuit against Republican Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis, accusing him of sexual harassment. Willis is running for re-election unopposed. The lawsuit also alleges well-known North Texas prosecutor and the county's first assistant district attorney, Bill Werski, created a quote.
Bill Werski, who is basically the one that prosecuted Karmelo Anthony. This dude who looks like he eats children.
Oh, no.
Toxic workplace. Among the plaintiffs, Chief Investigator Kim Pickrell. She alleges DA Willis allegedly made sexual advances towards her in multiple settings. That includes allegations of moaning, staring, full frontal body hugs, and comments about her body. The court documents say Willis allegedly told Pickrell he, quote, couldn't help himself from getting excited because she looked too good. In a statement, the district attorney told Fox 4, quote, I categorically and unequivocally deny these false allegations. They did not happen. Another plaintiff called herself Jane Doe 1, claiming Willis invited her to his hotel room during a work trip. She claims Willis told her, quote, I'm not sure where it could lead, but we could explore. The plaintiffs claim they made complaints to HR, but nothing was done. And they allege Assistant DA Werski retaliated against them by changing work assignments and complaining about their performance. In a statement, Werski told Fox 4, quote, this is obviously a politically motivated and politically timed lawsuit based on lies and recycled untruths by some very disgruntled and very troubled individuals.
Just look at him. This is the prosecutor.
And they still employ his dog ass. If it was a black person, they would be fired. Ask the DA how he was on that motherfucking case and he still got a fucking job.
Shit.
That's because they vote for each other.
Oh shit.
So we gotta take our power back. Elections are coming. That's right. That's right. We gonna tell they.
This is why I say, yo, election wise, I vote for policies. Yeah, you gotta, perfect blackness. You're right. I'm white and I say so, but that shit ain't gonna stick right now. That shit ain't gonna stick because you know why? A lot of these white boys, a lot of these loser ass white boys, and I have to call them loser ass white boys, are going around here doing this loser life shit, antagonizing black folks and shit like that. To look at. Yeah, it's gonna get Dorsey. I think it's gonna get bad out here. A lot of these loser ass white boys doing this shit, man. And like I said, Dorsey, also too, when Black Americans protest, they protest, man. And I don't think that's the last thing I think a lot of these motherfuckers don't want to do. Don't forget, it's not like this immigration deportation shit. Last thing they want to do is have black people in an uproar. Because a lot of shit's gonna be fucked up. This America can't move without Black America. Again, I'm gonna say it again. America cannot move without Black Americans. So if a Black Americans has to force these people's hands, I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. Anything is possible. No race rights today. Move along. Nothing's looking. Yeah, like I said, Dorsey, yo, nothing can't move without Black Americans, and a lot of Black Americans is looking at this shit like, hold on, wait a minute. They're not gonna take away our rights like this. And I'm gonna say this, and this is why I always tell a Black American. That's why I tell a lot of people, Black Americans is more conservative than white America. A lot of people are like me. I don't care about the color. I care about the laws. The laws protect me. So if you're taking my laws from me, we got a problem. That's what I got a problem with. I don't got a problem with the situation. If he did it, he did it. He needs to go to jail. But at the end of the day, we see too many situations like this where, you know, we can't let this shit go. We can't let this shit slide. We can't let this shit slide. Especially, they're gonna tear up Texas. I think Texas is gonna get teared the fucked up. There and other places. And I think it's gonna be more liberal Black places. You know, in Black states. They're gonna tear that motherfucker up. You know, I don't want to. And you know how niggas is when Black people protest. Other people, and I'm talking about other race, they want to go along because they want to get free shit. Because Black people tear shit up. This is why they have to call the military on us. They don't think twice. They're not gonna say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna call." No, they say, "Yo, get the military now." They're gonna fuck some shit up. We don't need to warn them that military's coming. They're gonna fuck shit up now before the military comes. So get them niggas now. That's what's gonna happen. And I'm not just tooting my own people's horn. Historically, this shit happens. Now let me ask you a question, Dorsey, since you're in California. When a watch riot happened, they let that shit burn down, then call military to clean it up, right? Or did they call military to stop it? Or did they just let it burn? That's what I want to know from Dorsey. But let's keep on playing this.
That's what we want. Or you gonna get the fuck out. The fuck out. We gotta show up for jury service. We gotta show up and participate. Stop trying to get the fuck off of a jury because that's how they slaughter us.
That's me. I always. Yo, I just went to jury duty like 4 or 5 years ago after 13 years. I never did jury duty for like 13 years. And the reason why I did jury duty that day, because I didn't want to go to work. I was like, man, fuck these people. I'm not fucking with these people today. I'm going to jury duty. And I almost got picked too for a month and a half case. I was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna be coming to Boston every day, nigga. Fuck this shit.
But this particular jury, they took 3 black women off of here because they were teachers. That's a violation. And they know it. That judge was in there feeding the state objections because they were too dumb to know what the fuck to object to.
That's
I ain't
crazy.
never seen no judge do no shit like that.
Crazy.
He got too much fucking experience, over 40 years as a fucking prosecutor, and you don't know how to fucking object? And you got this judge up there helping you?
Oh, shit.
Such a big case? This is his life. He's gonna retire too.
And the thing about it, I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be an uproar, and I'm gonna say this, Dorsey, because Dorsey, you're kind of not defending them, but you're like, yeah, this shit's gonna die off. I don't think this shit's gonna die off. I think this shit, because the reason why it's not gonna die off, because this case is so public. It's so bad that public figures are even talking about this case. Once public figures start talking about this case, and people like who do what I do, podcasts and stuff, talking about this shit's gonna go left. shit's gonna go left. And the last thing they want is a fucking a race wire. You know, that's what's gonna happen, and you're gonna. And the thing about it, what's different about this era, a lot of white allies, because not everybody is our ally who is white. A lot of these white allies is gonna be fighting to get this kid out of jail. You know, just because how crooked this fucking case was. It was a crooked case. You could tell it was a crooked case. And somebody's going down. Somebody's gonna have to go down. You know, so that's how we look at it. Somebody's gonna have to somebody has to bite the bullet.
That bitch got that money. This was his life. He needed this high profile case. This is judge last year. I'm just going there for the people there, you know, let them know how. They know how he doing. They know. We just came from South Carolina where they hunted that baby down and got off. They tried to hunt him down and he protected himself so he could get home safe, and they convicted him. And one white jury had the motherfucking audacity to sit in that damn box and cry. Bitch, don't fucking cry. It's too late for your tears.
Word.
Oh shit.
Your tears was needed when you was back there deciding within 30 fucking minutes of his life.
35 minutes.
It's the reason they did not call Hunter to testify, because he was problematic. He has been terrorizing that school, terrorizing students from other schools, and if they put him on that stand, it was going to come out. Those kids got up there and lied off of a relationship, and the prosecutors led it. They have an ethical duty to make sure witnesses testify truthfully, and they did, because it was a win for them.
This is gonna be retrialed.
They cost one of ours their freedom. So these white people that are out here, teach your kids to keep their motherfucking hands to themselves.
Yo, it's gonna be a retrial. This is too public, you know, and like we're watching it now. We're having people like this talk. Like, yo, honestly, I don't think we have seen anybody talk like this since the 70s. Like since the 70s. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the militant era this is the military era when niggas was pushing back on the pastors of black churches. And I'm gonna even bring this up when the guy was. I remember there was a interview I seen, or a show I seen, where this black kid said, "Yo, I'm not gonna let these white boys put their hands on me." He said they already have done enough. He said, "Next time I'm gonna defend myself. If I'm gonna have to go down, I'm gonna go down." Then he said he asked a preacher, "What would you do if somebody try to put your hands on you, try to put you in captivity like they already done?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to talk to them and pray for them." He said, "You know what? That praying shit is done." He said, "I'm tired of praying. That shit didn't get me nowhere." He said, "These devils are trying to kill me. You think I'm going to pray and talk to them?" He said, "Yo, I'm going to put them in the dirt before they put me in the dirt." This is what he said. This is what this little kid, and I'm talking about, this kid had to be no older than 16 or 17. This is the type of shit that we're going through right now. This is the type of era that we're watching. You know, let me see what. Yeah, I disagree. Too many of us too busy interrogating both social and sexually. Too many of us have found a comfortable spot under. Nah, I disagree. And we jealous guard to put that position. Nah, I put it this way. Perfect blackness. When it comes to our people, I think this is when we really come out. I think this is where we really see the power. This is just so public. I think if this wasn't public like this, and they didn't make it a public lynching, I don't think I would agree with you. But but this shit is everywhere. I was just looking at my Facebook and I just seen like 4 or 5 postings of it. This is like, come on. Like when we have to hear from like Cardi B saying stuff and other people like that saying stuff, shit's gonna go down. Shit's gonna go left. Shit's gonna go left. This is why a lot of celebrities don't talk about current events like this because they know what type of power they have. But Cardi B, she kind of don't have no Cardi B is rough around the edges. You can tell she's rough around the edges, but and that's what makes her different from others. Shit that she ain't supposed to say, she's gonna say, and they're not gonna really say as much because they think she don't know what she's doing. I think Cardi B she knows what she's doing to a certain extent. Does she has a little biasness to a certain thing she does? Yes, absolutely. Because don't forget, she's a Dominican, Afro Dominican. You know, but when she sees shit like this, of course, she's gonna get her name out there. She's no Al Sharpton, but she's gonna speak up when she has to speak up. Because then after that, niggas is gonna be like, oh, whoa, why are you talking about this when some other bullshit's happened? So she's gonna she's gonna live and die by the sword that she has. That's the only difference about certain, I'm gonna say certain immigrants. They have to live and die by that sword because at the end of the day, people don't want to hear excuses. People don't want to hear nah, nigga. I haven't been buying these albums for no reasons. What's up now? What you gotta say now?
Mm.
We mind our business until y'all get in our fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
We don't show up to trouble. Y'all create trouble and we gotta get in fucking trouble. So leave us the fuck alone and we will leave y'all the fuck alone. Period. Another thing.
Yo, Lord have mercy. That if that don't work up your spirit, I don't know what else will. Keep your hands to yourself. Mind your fucking business. These fucking twins were terrorists, man. Bullies. The whole town knew it, but they made sure that the world didn't know through the media, man.
And what's fucked up about it, and I'm gonna say this, what makes it worse, we heard it from Fox News. While that guy was saying, oh yo, they should throw the book at him. I mean, they should throw the book at him and give him the chair. The woman said, and this is why I said this. When you looked at that woman was like, oh yo, what the fuck is you saying? You give him the death penalty? After she said that they were known domestic racists. Known domestic racists. So this means that this ain't their first rodeo, and this is why I said this is one of those things where they fucked around and found out. They thought, oh yeah, he's a frail little nigga we could beat up, and he ain't gonna do shit. And they fucked around and found out that he had a tool on him. I'm a 10-year army, and thank you for your service, Perfect Blackness. Thank you. Trust me, Caucasians speak and understand real one language, and they know there isn't enough FBAs truly about that. No, you'll be wrong. They'll burn your shit down. They'll burn your shit down, and I'm gonna say this, Perfect Blackness. Don't forget, most people who stopped us from doing shit were immigrants. This is why we're changing a lot of shit when people like we. What you mean we? Why are you talking for us? Or even with our own kind of off code, like, yo, hold up. Why are you off code? There's something up with you. Then we start looking in this nigga's background. We finding out he's hanging around with the wrong people. This is how we found out about what's his name? What's old boy's name? Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was out here hanging around with white supremacists. You know, a lot of people didn't tell us that. Everybody thought, oh, yo, the FBI set Marcus Garvey up. No, this nigga was hanging around with white supremacists and agreeing with their ideology, telling us we should go back to Africa. And a lot of us didn't come from Africa. You know, why do you black supremacists value life so little? Clarify. Since I'm a black supremacist, clarify how do I value life so little? Is it because we defend ourselves, or is it because we're not going to let you do anything for us? I bet you, Dark Blade Omen. I bet you're happy when black people. Let me tell you something. My great granddaddy died when he was 92. He was born in 1892. He died when he was 92. He told me when I was younger, because I grew up with him a little bit, and God rest my great granddaddy, Joseph Wilson. He said a white person's comfort is black people's fear. I never understood that until I started getting into the work field. What that means is when black people feel comfortable and they're in good spirits, white people are scared. I never understood that until that was told to me by my great granddaddy. Now, the question I'm asking you is why can't black Americans defend themselves and use the law? You know, you should be able to. No, it's not about kill people, it's defend themselves. I'm what your problem is. What's different between me and you is I protect the law, you protect white supremacy. That's your problem. I protect the law. If the law is going to work, the law should work for everybody. We shouldn't have to do hypotheticals. We shouldn't have to do retrials. You have this weird obsession with black people. Instead of defending the law as an American, you want to break the law. This is why I always tell people black Americans are the purest Americans. Because we protect the law. You break the law. You're more of a treasonous than General E. Lee.
And everybody knew what type they. That's had that. That was the saying since his brother was unalived. They've been calling these niggas bullies since forever. Everybody knew, but they got away with it. We got no friends.
Let me ask you a question, Dark Blade Omen. Why do you support breaking the law? Why do you support breaking American laws? Are you American? Are you a proud American? I'm a proud American because you know what? I protect the law. If the law works for you, it's supposed to work for me and other people. It's supposed to work for the Americans. I'm American. So again, why do you support breaking the law? Back in the days, we settle shit. Let me tell you something. Back in the days is dead. You need to come into the 2026. Why are you talking about what happened years ago? Why are you talking about what happened 50, 60, 70 years ago? This is 2026. This is wrong. This is what's wrong with you white supremacists. With your white supremacists, you're so scared. You're so scared to come into 2026 that you can't adapt with the times now. This is why you're losing and you can't handle anything. You always need black people to help you. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna tell you something. Ever since Donald Trump got into office, y'all had the seats, y'all had the tables, y'all had all the policies to make. Y'all still can't get along. Y'all out here killing each other. Y'all out here fighting each other. Y'all are fucking animals. Y'all are fucking animals. Y'all out here blowing each other's necks and brains out, beating each other out, killing your loved ones. And black Americans are just sitting back minding their fucking business. Y'all out here destroying each other. And you know what y'all do? Y'all out here and y'all blame the Jews. The Jews are white. Those are white people. Those are white people. The only thing that separates them from you is a religion. Y'all out here blame the fucking Jews. They're white. When Epstein went down as a white man. He identified as a white man. And you can't take accountability for that. And you know what? Everything that's happening to you right now in this country with white on white violence is because of y'all. Y'all can't be conservative and have a great conversation, even if y'all don't like each other. This is why I say y'all shouldn't call yourself conservatives. Y'all are fucking animals. You're worse than the fucking animal kingdom. This is the type of shit that goes on. Now you want to talk about justice. This just exposed the justice system. What are you talking about? Y'all just exposed your own fucking system. That's telling you something. How the fuck you justify a small frail nigga in New York talking to himself, yelling at himself, talking about he's gonna beat himself up on a fucking train. And a white man just goes over there, not minding his fucking business as always, and chokes a man out and kills him. Then this man sitting down and these two corn-fed fucking racists come over there fucking with him and try to beat him up. This is fucked around and found out. This is why I say what I said. This is fucked around and found out. Y'all made the fields. Now when somebody play your game and say, oh, why couldn't they just fight? As many times we fought y'all shot black people. You talk about stand your ground. Now y'all don't want to use stand your ground. Now you want to go back to the old times. Niggas ain't trying to say that. And I'm going to say this, Dark Blade. Oh, man, eat a dick, nigga. You and your mama.
I'm calling on the black community. I'm calling on the black pastors, the black leaders, the black organizations. I'm calling on you all to stand in unity with us, to have a mass boycott, to hold our dollars from every other race if they're not black. We're not supporting any businesses. I don't want to see us in anybody's business if it's not a black business. We're holding our dollars. We will make them feel what we're feeling today. You got to commit to it. And that's all I got to say. We're fighting for, anyways, we're fighting for you, Karmelo. We're fighting for you. We're going to get our dollars together. We're going to get our dollars together. We need a better defense team for Karmelo.
That's right.
My name is Miss Selena Charles, and make sure you put MS on that.
Okay.
Purpose for
Make
the
sure
people.
you put that MS on it. Go ahead, Miss
And to
Charles.
be quite honest, it's purpose for black people.
Now, I just want to end it on this note, man. This is why we have no friends. We cannot spend money with nobody. When we say where it says, stop, stay out of Asian business right here in the background, not just them, everybody, white tea people too. If you got to, whatever, just do the process of elimination and make sure you don't spend money with none of these people.
But Dark Blade, Omen, it is nice meeting you. I do like you on my show and stuff because you do give a good perspective. but we can't go back and forth. We can't play biasness. So at the end of the day, I do respect your shit, what you're saying. But where was BML? Actually, I don't agree with BML. I mean BLM. I don't agree with them and the shit that they do, but they are out there. They're out there. Yeah, they're out there. Um, but I don't agree with them. I think they're a white supremacist group just like you. So they're just a different bird of a different wing of a bird. That's all. I mean, different wing on the same bird, if you know what I mean. So, and like I said, ain't nothing against you or you doing meth and shit. It's just, you know, we can't play biasness, all right? I give you the benefit of the doubt to say anything about minorities, yada yada yada, what black people do, and yada yada yada. But don't start that shit. Oh, yo, I wish we go back to the old times. Because if we go back to the old times, we be out here fucking you up. The reason why niggas don't fight anymore because y'all started shooting after we beat you down. Remember George Zimmerman? You see how all you white boys defended George Zimmerman? And after that, after George Zimmerman got his ass whooped by a 14-year-old, he shot him? This is the type of shit, you know? So I don't believe in all that, oh, we used to just fight it out. Nah, fuck that shit. Bullshit, you ain't no monk, nigga. Come on. But nice to meet you, Dark Blade Omen. Salute. But yeah, you talking bullshit though. Everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the live chat. Um, if you're not a subscriber, you can't get into the live chat. But so subscribe, but also share to five five platforms or people you know, so it can be mixed. At least let it be five. And thank you. I do appreciate that. And also, if you want to donate to the show, because this show's for everybody. So Dark Blade Omen, you're a part of this show. You can talk on the show. You can say what you want to say. Just respect the laws of the land. I don't care. I'm gonna be personally honest. I don't care if we're opposites. You still got a point. You still can bring value to this show if you got a point of view. My point of view don't have to always be right. You know, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about listening also. So again, shout out to you. I respect your I respect your point of view, but we can't keep on doing this bullshit talking about fighting it out. We're not gonna keep on saying fight it out. Because we can't talk bullshit either. That's one thing. That's one law. No talking bullshit. You know. But yeah, I do respect how you feel. If you feel like that, I'm not gonna say you're right or wrong. That's your point of view. But we can't act like, you know, this kid wasn't the aggressor. This is why I think there's gonna be a retrial.
And we have to understand when she say black, everybody is not black. Everybody that's not ours, that has our skin color is not our people. These people that is melanated do not consider foundational black Americans as them. So this Karmelo Anthony case, they don't see him as one of them. A lot of them don't. Some may do. I'm not gonna say that all of them don't. Some, it's very little though. These Caribbeans, not just targeted them, but we just going by experience, family. Overall, not the ones we cool with. We talking reality. A lot of them don't see us as them. So it was like water off the duck's back. And oh, guess who I found? That's Eddie Parra, a Hispanic, the one that was cool with Karmelo. Cool. I'm trying to get the front face. I'm doing a whole lot to find him.
Hold up. Dark Blade Omen. Don't say nothing. Let's watch this because this might answer your question.
And it's hard, but this is the closest we're going to get. There's other images, but this is the closest we're gonna get to who Edwin Barra is. That's him. That's the one that lied. This is the one that Carmelo Anthony was chilling with. This is him. There's no other person. That's him right there.
That's a fucking immigrant. That's a Latinos, and this is why I always tell people all the time: there is no black and white. I mean, black and Latino, black and brown unity. There has never been. There has never been. That's a fucking Latino name, man. And are there some riders out there? Yes, there's some Latino riders, just like there's some white riders. But this is what I'm talking about. A lot of these Latinos will turn on black people for white people. And I told you, this is why I don't call them black Latinos. I call them white Hispanics. Those are white Hispanics because they identify as white people. This is why I say what I say. I don't say, I'm going to say this. People be thinking I'd be disrespectful because I call Latinos white Hispanics. That's what they are. They're white Hispanics. They're Spaniards. A lot of those motherfuckers are Spaniards. They genocided the Africans. They genocided the indigenous. That's what they did. Those are Latinos. Do they have some type of admixture? Probably. But let's not act like, these are black immigrants. No. That's a white Hispanic and black skin.
And that lied and went against him. That lied and went against him. This is a so-called black man. He may be mixed with some kind of, maybe his father is black. Whoever, but that's a Hispanic. I'm not saying all Hispanics are bad, but we know what time it is. We're not dumb here. Okay? So all of y'all can kiss my ass. And let's just get this out the way. We have to really understand that they saw the judges, the prosecutors, the DA, even Mike Howard, Carmelo Anthony's lawyer, who is
black people are not tribal. Black people are not tribal. Dark Blade Omen, and the reason why I say black people are not tribal, you're thinking about Africans. Africans are more tribal. When in America, if you're a black American, you're a black American. No matter if you're Geechee, no matter if you have a native background, because a lot of black Americans is they're admixtures, so they had an ethnogenesis. So we can be Native American, we can be Creole, we can be Geechee, we can have some African ethnicity or African genetics, but a lot of us don't because there was only 4% of Africans that came to America. There was already people here, So I get what you're saying. He's guilty. You know what? I almost call you Dark Snow Bunny Kid. Dark Blade, oh man, I'm gonna put this up. We agree. That tribal mentality, at the end of the day, he's guilty of manslaughter. Dark Blade Omen, I said that. I said that to everybody. Everybody said I was wrong. I said if he was going to get charged, he should get charged with manslaughter because it's easy to charge him with manslaughter instead of murder. If he gets charged for murder, there's something suspicious about it. Because at the end of the day, you gotta make it seem like, and you can't do hypotheticals. You gotta be accurate of making them seem like, yo, he went there to do that. You know, this is where the thing about it, like I said, I don't care if it's black or white. I am about protecting the law. The law said he basically, technically, if we go by the law, that's defense. That's so, he was defending himself if we look at it like that. First of all, there's a weight difference. Second of all, Austin Metcalf had another person with him, his twin brother. Third of all, his reputation of bullying people. What's going on, E. Will? It's third of all, his reputation. Yeah, that's nasty work. I think it's gonna be a retrial. And also, I'm gonna say the last one for you, Doc Blade Omen. Um, there's too many conflict of interest. First, there's the kid that you were talking about, his friend reneged. That's we can't really take his word. We can't really take his word for it because at the end of the day, he said two different stories. That's already suspicious. So he should have been thrown out. Second of all, they didn't have excuse. They didn't have any facts. There was no facts. Only facts that we know that he was dead and he got stabbed. That's all we know. We gotta prove. Now he gotta prove that this wasn't self defense because his reputation, Austin Metcalf's reputation, says that he was out here. They said on Fox News. Fox News said that this kid was a domestic racist. But I do agree if they were gonna charge him for anything, they should have charged him for manslaughter. I think he should have got 3 to 5 years, if anything. If not, he should have maxed out of juvenile hall. That's it. Out of juvie, at least. And maxing out of juvie is 21. You know? It didn't expose the justice system because we already knew they were. No. So I agree with you, E. Will. But when I say expose, I mean to everybody. If any person didn't believe it, you got to believe it now. And this is why I was explaining to Doc Blade Oldman. I was like, I'm not here about color. I'm here about the law. If we're going to make the law have to be for everybody. Because if you do that, we got to push back on the Trayvon Martin case. We got to go back to the Trayvon Martin case where George Zimmerman needs to be in jail for life. Or he needs to be doing 35 years. Because technically, George Zimmerman was the antagonizer. I can be the aggressor, but if you're the antagonizer, you need to go to jail. Because you're provoking the situation. And the reason how I know, because I got my gun license. I know every law is different. I'm in Massachusetts. So for me to use a gun, it's easier for me to use my gun down south than in the East Coast. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you, Doc Blade Oldman. I do agree with you, but what's his name was the antagonizer. This is why I say Austin, he fucked around and found out. Just mind your business. Ain't nobody tell you to go police. You don't get paid to police people. Oh, if that was your spot, say, oh, yo, this is our team spot. Can you move somewhere else? Everything. And the thing about it, this is why I always tell people too, especially my white friends that I do care about. I say, you got to be careful with that passive aggressive shit. People take that as being as you antagonizing them. So be careful. Not everybody's going to see how you see it. I always tell people that.
Was horrible. The judge and everybody seen Austin Metcalf as their family. They didn't prove no motherfucking burden. They ain't prove no
We're gonna go into the next one because I'm running out of time, everybody.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? The defense in the Karmelo Anthony murder trial rested its case on yesterday. Today, they began closing arguments. As arguments take place all around this country, and based on what your ethnicity is, I can probably tell you whose side you're on. If you're on the black side, you're probably rooting for Karmelo Anthony. If you're on the white side, you're rooting for Austin Metcalf.
Oh shit, we got half and half on the polls.
Murdered by Karmelo.
Everybody keep on hitting them polls. Everybody hit the polls on YouTube, everybody. I want to see what y'all thinking. Did the Karmelo Anthony case expose the justice system a system breaking their own laws. You know, I would put of, but either or goes. Depending how I put it with a comma, I mistake. I'm my mistake. You can kill someone for pushing you. I would say this. Give me a second. Snow Bunny King. So I'll say this, Snow Bunny King. In certain states, if you're the aggressor, there is a law that says it's called stand your ground. If you're being aggressive with me, I can shoot you. I can shoot you. And all I have to say that I was in fear of my life. I didn't know what you was gonna do. You're coming close to me. Especially if you bump somebody and you're aggressive. Yes. It's called stand your ground. You know? And this is why I say, let's say if it was Austin Metcalf that stabbed uh uh Karmelo Anthony, and Karmelo Anthony was 200 pounds and Metcalf was 160. I will be on the side of Austin Metcalf because the laws is the laws. It's called stand your ground. I would have been like, damn, he's a fucking idiot. Why would he do that? This is how I would act because at the end of the day, these laws. The reason why I'm so stern about this because these laws protect us, Black Snow Bunny King. And if anybody can infiltrate the laws, then what the fuck you need laws for? We're gonna have a lawless society, and all I have to do is buy out. All I have to do is buy my own laws. I can buy out all the crimes I do. If it comes like this, no, it's a difference. 160 pounds and over, homie. I'm like me and Austin Metcalf is damn near the same weight. I'm 215. I think 215, 220. I think he's 215, 220. So you can't just say that, oh, it doesn't make a difference. It does make a difference, Dark Blade Almond. So let's listen to this.
Should I say murder or should I say kill? I guess at the end of the day, he's dead, right? There are people who are saying that Austin brought this upon himself when he confronted Karmelo and he pushed him. There are people who are saying Karmelo had no right to stab him. After all, what are you doing with a knife at a track meet anyway? What is not being said is Austin Metcalf, the deceased, and his brother, his twin brother, Hunter, wasn't even supposed to be at the track meet.
Oh!
They were suspended. Now, I don't know why they were suspended, but nobody's talking about why they were suspended. I would really like to know.
Dark Blade Omen, did you know that Austin Metcalf was suspended? And do you know why they were suspended? I don't know. I'm asking. The bigger they are, the harder. No, it doesn't go like that. You know, let me tell you something. Have I seen young little niggas knock other little niggas out? I mean, big niggas out? Yes, I have seen it. But it's a rare case. This isn't wrestling, Dark Blade Omen. This is a real fight. You know? He had to protect himself, you know? Like, let me ask you a question. You know what? Just answer that question. Did you know Austin Metcalf and his brother wasn't supposed to be there? I'm just wondering, did you know that? I didn't know that. This is new news. I'm just finding out.
Why they were suspended. In order for you to be suspended from school, typically it involves fighting. I want to know if they were fighting, who were they fighting on? Austin and his brother Hunter had a reputation, reportedly, for being bullies. Now, y'all know we don't like bullies in the United States. I mean, United States, you know, it's a bully country, but individually, we don't like bullies, right? Because we always talk about how bullies got what they deserve, and bullies deserved this and that and that and the third. But I think a lot of us, we determine whether we like bullies or not based on the skin color of the victim. That's what we typically do in this country, right? Now, I do believe that at the end of the day, Carmelo Anthony is not going to do any prison time. I don't think this case got a bunch of holes in it. And I think that they know it got holes in it. I think that the prosecution took so long to charge Carmelo because they didn't have a case. They were manufacturing a case. That's why it took them so long to charge him, because they knew that Austin was in the wrong. I do believe they had that video footage early on. And anytime there's video footage and it's consistent with the narrative that they want to spin, they put it out there immediately. When it's not, they hold on to it until they can get it.
No, I get what you mean, Doc Blake. You don't gotta explain that. I get that, but as I'm saying, with who you're talking about, I'm telling you what type of tribal that you're talking about. Those are Africans and immigrants. Black America. If you know Black American, you know Black American culture. Black Americans accept everybody. We're forgiving people. We love everybody. Don't forget, we used to invite everybody to the fucking cookout. We don't do that shit no more, but we used to invite everybody for the cookout. We help everybody when they're in need. To this day, we still do. You know? But what you're talking about Africans. Africans turn on Africans. Africans have problems with their own people. And the reason why they're tribalistic, because there's thousands of tribes in Africa. Not every African like each other, you know? This is why I always tell people there's no such thing as African unity right now, because at the end of the day, they got to get their tribal crisis and on point. This is why I tell people don't give us this Wakanda story, because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I fuck with Africans. I like certain African foods and shit like that, like their fish stew. But I'm not gonna eat no fucking zebra knuckles or no monkey brains or anything. I'm not eating that shit. I'll eat their fish stew and the shit that they be having that be busting. But other than that, I'm not gonna eat African food like that. And there's some good African food. Like they make homemade pancakes and shit like that. They make oh my god, their fish stew with their rice and beans. They got they got some good food. No, don't worry. Doc, Doc Blade, oh man, this is what this show is for, man. Like shit that I don't know, I always apologize for. But it's you don't have nothing to apologize for. But there's a lot of tribalistic people, and you just didn't know. There's nothing wrong with it. You just didn't know. Like, for example, Black Snow Bunny King was asking me a question. He said, who has done more for black people, Republicans or Democrats? I said, personally, I don't think none of them has done anything. Then he said, what have they done? I say, I don't know. I can't. And like Snow Bunny King, and I like shows like this when Snow Bunny King is here, because he asks these certain questions that, if I know, I can give you my point of view. I can't get my point of view on that question because I just don't know. And I always tell people all the time, there's certain things that I just don't know. I'll say this, Doc Blade Omen, cracker is not a derogatory term. That's like the word honky. It's not a derogatory term. Cracker, the word cracker came from when the slave master used to hit the whip on the black on the African, on the slave man's back, and he used to make a cracking noise like crack. And that's why they called him a cracker, because of the whip. The honky was when the brothels came by, when they used to have these whorehouses, and the mayors and the politicians and these rich white people used to come to the brothels and to the hood, and they used to honk their horns like honk 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 honk. That's what a honky is, you know. So I wouldn't take those as a derogatory term, because I told you what they mean. Because a lot of people don't know what that shit means. A lot of black people don't even know where those words came from. But those are where those terms came from, honky and cracker. So, if anything, you should be mad about. Edomite. If somebody call you an Edomite or a cave dweller or some shit like that, yeah, you should be mad about that because basically they're calling you a primate or an animal, you know, because those cave dwellers weren't civilized. The people who civilized them were the Moors. So cut all their hair off their body because a lot of them had hair on their body. So yeah, that's where that shit comes from. But yeah, you should get mad about Edomite or cave dweller or some shit like that, or Neanderthal. Even though Neanderthal is a real thing, I personally don't know what a Neanderthal is, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, cave dweller and Edomite, yeah, you should be like kind of worried, like why you call me a Edomite? And shalom to anybody. So
Just right. So they can
the
show it.
male monkey gets.
Yeah, that's the game.
Shout out
And
to
I
you,
do
Doug
believe that's the
Blade
game
Oldman.
that was played in this trial. Now, I want to show you some pictures of some guys, right? These guys have something in common, right? All of these guys are involved in the Carmelo Anthony trial.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Let's see.
Let's start off with Jeff Metcalf. He's the father of Austin.
He's a known racist. I heard, put it this way, I have heard him on TikTok spaces calling black people niggers. So this is when people do stuff like that in court, we're showing their personality and what are they capable of doing. So when people tell you their personality, this is why you're always supposed to stay calm in court. If somebody asks you crazy questions and stuff like that and they feel like they're antagonizing you, you got to stay calm. Still can't stay calm. Because when you get out of line, say, see, hey, look it. You know, it's almost human caveman. Thank you, Shabaka, for explaining what cave dweller or Neanderthal is. I didn't know what a Neanderthal 100% is, but thank you. But yeah, that's why you got to be careful in court.
This guy here is Greg Willis. He is the DA.
Freaky
and
ass.
This lazy guy, just kicking back, with the dog.
Freaky ass.
That's
Willis.
the judge in the trial, John Roach. Now, why is it important for me to show all of these guys?
Uh-oh.
What do you think these guys have in common besides that they're all white males?
Do y'all know what they got in common, everybody? Do y'all know what they got in common? There's a reason why he shows you this. And it's because all of them are friends. And this is where I was telling you about the conflict of interest. There shouldn't be shit like this in courts. This is why I say, yo, I protect the law. It's not about the race. It's about the law. You got to protect the law. The law is very important to all of us. If we know that the law can be infiltrated, the law can't. There's going to be a possibility that the law will not protect us. This is where I was saying, and this is where I agree with you, Doug. Blade Oldman, and I agree with I think E Will said the same thing, and Jeff, I agree that he's supposed to be free because they said murder. But it should have been manslaughter if they wanted to if they really wanted to convict him, they should have said manslaughter. RF phone. Oh, those they wasted. Go find me. Dark Blade Omen, we talked about that. The thing I said is I play hypotheticals with you. But when you're in an all-white small town, you need to get the fuck out of there. And I said, if this is the hypothetical, you need to get the fuck out of there. You need to get the fuck out of Dodge, especially when you're not the majority. You need to get out of there. You need to go somewhere safe, and that's what they did. But I think they should have spent more on a lawyer as well. I think they should have lived out of a hotel. And this is just me. I think they should have lived out of a hotel until further notice. Um, Dark Blade Allman BMWs are not that much. I had 6 BMWs. I crashed 3 of them. They're not that much. BMWs are cheap. They're German cars. They're hard to get their parts, but they're cheap cars. You know, I am myself now I'm a Chevy driver. I love Chevy and Cadillacs. I drive a Camaro right now. I'm about to buy me a Tahoe soon, so I'm gonna have me 2 cars. I was looking at the Escalade. I was thinking about getting the Escalade. Everybody, I'm not gonna lie. I was about to get the Escalade, but I was like, yo, let me look at. I've been loving the Tahoe because it's an 8-seater. You know, so my kids would love that.
They're involved in this case. They're friends. These guys reportedly are friends.
It might not matter to you, Dark Blade Allman, but it's a conflict of interest. In the court of law, that's a conflict of interest. Whenever there's shit like that, you're supposed to let them know in court. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I have been to court. If you know, and they ask you the question, do you know these people? Do you know that judge? Do you know that lawyer? You know, these are friends. These aren't colleagues. These are friends. You know, that's a conflict of interest.
Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff, is friends with the DA. The DA is friends with Jeff Metcalf, and Jeff Metcalf is friends with John Roach.
Oh no!
There's an old commercial out there
Europeans
that says,
in control,
friends don't let friends drive drunk. I got an updated version of that commercial. Friends don't let friends not get their way in court.
BMWs are cheap. The Series 3s, the Series 3s, you buy those for whores. Like if you buy those for your side chicks and shit. If I ever had a sidekick, my side chick, I'll probably put in a Series 5. You know, but 3s and 5s is like, yo, you know, you got a little bit of money and stuff like that. You worry about the accessories in the series in 5 series. So yeah, there's a difference. Oh, you had a Tahoe? How you like it?
These guys are friends. You think they're not going to look out for each other? Do you really think,
Facts, well,
for one remote moment, that they're not going to look out for one another? I mean, it's just a black kid.
And after this, everybody, I'm gonna land.
I think if it was another,
I'm gonna land. I was gonna do a Tariq Nasheed show, but I'll do that one tomorrow because I think we're gonna do the poll question as a topic question tomorrow. I think we should make this a 2-part series show of this.
White kid, I don't even think we still be here. If a white kid had stabbed Austin Metcalf, I don't think we'd be here. I think that all of these guys know the truth. And this is one of the reasons why Austin's dad resigned to forgiving Karmelo Anthony early on. Austin's dad probably knows that his son was a bully. Hunter, who is trying to play innocent, he ain't all that innocent at all. From what I understand, he was right there in the center of it.
Shabaka, you are right about that actually, and thank you for staying and staying onto the topic because I know it's hard because we usually talk about FBA immigrants and shit like that, white supremacy. And I know y'all see a different part of me because, like I said, I'm not against nobody, but at the end of the day, I am Black American first, but I am American first. And one thing about me is I protect the law. I think the law is very important to protect. And if anybody can infiltrate the law, then there's a problem. No matter if you're black or white, you should be concerned. When shit is supposed to be open and shut case and they fucked up and made it a murder case instead of a manslaughter, we have a problem. You buy those for like, no, I'm saying if I had a side chick or some whores and I'm buying them a car, I will buy them a 5 Series. Me, I drive American cars. I drive Chevys and stuff like that. Chevys. I think Cadillac is an American car. Um, I like Mustangs and stuff like that. Do I mess with European cars sometimes? I'm not really a European car no person no more. The parts is just too expensive for no reason, and it'd be like the smallest shit. I remember my coolant broke in my fucking BMW, and it usually costs $100 a fix. That shit costs almost $400, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck did I buy? I mean, what the fuck did I break? And you need your coolant because if it overheats, you could burn out your engine. Then I'll be buying a new engine. But yeah, let me say, hold on 1 second, everybody.
Karmelo Anthony when things went down. When it went down, they say at least 5 guys jumped Karmelo Anthony. So you want to talk about the knife? Well, the knife was legal in the state of Texas. Not only can you carry a knife on the streets of Texas, you can carry a knife at a stadium, at a track meet. So you got nothing there. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna pivot, right? You gotta pivot. Where he need to die.
Only thing that they can say is it was excessive. But the only thing that would stick if he would have stabbed them 2 or 3 times. He stabbed them once and ran because he was scared. I'm not even gonna lie. Let me tell y'all something. I seen this kid get jumped, and this was an old childhood friend. He got jumped, and he stabbed somebody in front of the store, and that's what happened. He got off. The kid was leaking and everything. They had to call the police and everything. And he's not a friend that I'm like, oh my God, let me save him. Nah, fuck that. Like, yo, my nigga, you got yourself into this gang shit. This is what happened. And he stabbed a dude, boom. And that's what happened. They brought him to the police station. He got off with self-defense. This is the same situation that's happening. I don't know the different laws in Texas like that. Like, I don't know the laws in Texas, but this should be an open and shut case if there's a stand your ground. There shouldn't be no hypothetical.
You need to go to jail for the rest of your life. See, once you ain't got no argument, you can't make an argument, you can't make sense. Can't make an argument, can't make sense. So you just start saying stupid shit and just throwing out anything, and your true colors come out. Well, he should go to jail. This reminds me of when there was these non-black people that I was around. Because I don't want to pick on nobody, so I'm just going to say non-black people that I was around during the time that Barack Obama was running for president. And this is right after he won the Iowa caucus. And this girl who was a friend of one of the guys that I knew said, we were talking about Barack, and I said, yeah, it looked like he might be able to win it. And she said, yeah, that's if he don't get killed. And I said, why would you say that? And I said, why are you saying it like that? She said it like she was disgusted with him and she hoped that he get killed. Some people were worried about him getting killed because he's a black guy and he could run, and we know that America is full of racist, uncivilized mutts, and so we were concerned for that reason. But it was more like, yeah, man, if you don't get killed, Like, if he don't get killed, it's a whole lot different than, yeah, if he don't get killed.
I'm gonna say this, because let me let him finish, because
Look at a lot of these people who say that Carmelo Anthony is guilty. They're only saying that because he's black. They hope he go to jail for 100 years. They're only saying it because he's black. If he was a white kid who killed another white kid, we wouldn't even be talking about this case. It wouldn't even be a case. And even if it was a case, they wouldn't have that same kind of energy. Ooh, I know you good. I studied you. I studied you. I know you. Yeah, man. I know you better than you know yourself. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
all right,
Carmelo.
I'm gonna land right here. Give me a second. Give me a second. So I'm gonna say this. All right, I'm gonna say this. If you see how I look at certain things, I look at certain things as law binding situations. You know, like Chud the Builder, you can't antagonize people. The thing, this is what would, let me tell you something. The only way I would agree with Austin if if Carmelo was the antagonizer. If there's evidence of Austin, I mean, if we have, if we had Carmelo antagonizing the whole situation, I will be like, yes, I'm 100%. I think he should be going to jail, because you can't be a law-abiding citizen and antagonize the person who's being aggressive, because you're just adding on to the problem. So I would agree with that, but the history, man, and this is why I always say images is everything. Image is everything, you know. And this is why I always tell people all the time, I have this. I'm gonna say this. Reason why I'm gonna say one reason why I'm not gonna defend Chuck the Builder. He shot a vet. Anybody who defends this country, I can't defend that. You know, especially you go out here antagonizing a vet who fought for his rights to be who he is. You know, I can't defend that. But one thing about standing your ground, you can't be an antagonizer. If you're an antagonizer, you got to fight that fair one. You have to fight the fair one. If not, you're going to be doing what Chuck the Builder's going. You're going to be dealing with what Chuck the Builder's dealing with. And it's not a pretty sight, because at the end of the day, first of all, his face is his pictures is plastered everywhere. He's probably one of the most hated people, black and white. He is one of the most hated people. First of all, white supremacists is gonna hate him because he's a homosexual. You know, he's a homosexual. Second of all, he's making the white race look bad. Third of all, you know, he's a loser. White supremacists don't like that type of shit. Black Americans don't like him because he's antagonizing them. Just leave. He won't leave them alone. He wants to sit here and bother them and then pull out beer mace and a gun on people. But he did that to the right person when he really went down to a black community. You can't do that, you know? And this is where people have to understand, just leave people alone. If you don't, put it this way, if I don't like who you are, I can't just go around there just antagonizing you. That's wrong. I would never want to do that, because you know what? These laws are meant to protect us. We can't. One thing I hate. I really, really hate. I hate people who abuse the law. They abuse the law. This is why I'm gonna say this. This is why a lot of y'all white supremacists have a problem with this immigration shit right now, because you know what? People abuse that law of the 13th Amendment. Was it the 12th or 13th Amendment? The Birthrights Amendment. We're going through the same shit now. People abusing the law. This is why I told black people, stay out this shit. A lot of these white supremacists is gonna burn their own bridges. They're gonna they're gonna cut off their nose they're gonna cut off their ear to despise their nose. That's what they're gonna do. Because they hate their nose, they're gonna cut off their fucking ear. You know, it's just, put it this way. If you really want to help your people, respect the law, respect America. Go by the law, support the law, no matter if it's in the favor of you or the other person. Just say that's the law. That's what the military fought for. This is what they bled for. This is why military is in these other countries now. It's to support our right to be American. You know? And I'm gonna say this. One thing I can respect about you, Shabaka, yes, you are an American. But at the end of the day, Dorsey fought for your right to say, you know what? I don't like America. This is the United Snakes of America. Dorsey fought for your rights to say that. He fought for your right to be opinionated. And this is why I always tell you, just stay. All I will ask you to do is respect the laws of the land. I'll let you say whatever you want. Respect the laws of the land, but stay on topic. Stay on topic. You know? I don't care what you say. You could talk about FBAs, but let it be about this topic. Answer the question of this topic. Like when Snow Bunny King jumped on this, he started trolling. I was like, Snow Bunny, all I need you to do is just stay on topic. I'm asking you just to stay on topic. I'll do an FBA show probably tomorrow, or I might talk about the justice. I'm gonna do the justice system on Friday. We'll do a Friday show. We're gonna do this Friday show because it's gonna be a longer show. But one thing I want you to do, if we're gonna troll about the right things, this right here, this was more of a like, what do other people think? What do y'all think? Like me, I don't care if you think he needs to get the death penalty, but tell me why you think he needs a death penalty. You know, as I said, I think it's manslaughter. I think they overcharged him. I think they threw charges on him that shouldn't never stick. A murder charge shouldn't stick. Manslaughter, yes. It's like a vehicle manslaughter. If you don't know what a vehicle manslaughter is, say you was drinking and you hit somebody. You didn't mean to hit the person, but you were drunk. You knew you wasn't supposed to be drinking, but you hit the person. That's manslaughter. That's not murder. You know, so there's so much stuff that goes with this. I personally hope he gets out, because at the end of the day, it's respecting the law. If anything, if they want to go back and recharge him with something else like manslaughter, and it might stick like and they might have to give him like 3 to 5 years if it's manslaughter, I will agree to that. I was like, oh, well, the law is the law. It's manslaughter, you know? But giving him 35 years, that's obsessive. That's excessive. That's too much, you know? So again, I'm gonna give my shout outs. Thank everybody for sticking on topic, staying on topic. I know on my show it's hard to stay on topic. But I'm glad y'all stayed on topic to this. I'm gonna also, like I said, I'm gonna also talk to Pete. I'm gonna talk to my team and see how we can make the laws for the link, dropping the link or calling. So definitely, I apologize again for stopping everybody from calling. And I'm gonna say that it would have been a good conversation to hear from people, from anybody who would want to convo Dorsey, Shabaka, if you wanted to call in, if you would have stayed on topic about this situation, I would love to hear what y'all was gonna say, but I can't because I gotta stay firm with the team, the Bronze Reaper team. I have to, and I apologize for the whole situation, man. But I want to give my shout outs to Dorsey, Black Snow Bunny King, Fresh Always, Perfect Blackness, E Will, Jeff, Shabaka, FBA Convo, Ali, Howard, St. Michael, Salute, Ray Ray, Dark Blade Allman, American Dream Guy, and my man from Kick, who always talking, man. He always gets busy out here. Robin. Shout out to Robin. He be on Kick, holding me down on Kick. Salute, salute, salute. I want to thank everybody for being on this show. I do appreciate even the new guy, Dark Blade. Oh man, thank you for coming on and telling me your opinion. I know shit went left in the beginning. Shit always happens on the show. You'll get if you come on this show often, you'll see a lot of this shit goes left. Bullshit. The law are made for. That's your opinion, Shabaka, and I can't fight you from that. We can't be the voice of that. But shout out to you, Dark Blade. Oh man, thank you for coming on my show. I appreciate it. Thank you for your opinion. I think your opinion is great. There's no right and wrong about it. It's your opinion, and this is why I give you this platform. So shout out to you again, Dorsey. It's always nice talking to you, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care.